Welcome to Norwich Free Academy, home of the NFA Wildcats on a cold, windy, blustery Saturday. The sun is shining. Both teams are on the field, and we are waiting for a matchup of two teams who are not where they thought they would be 5 weeks into the season. And questions will be answered today on Game Day, live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, the junior voice of Game Day here as well, and all of the Game Day crew as we are going to bring to you the day's continuing coverage of high school sports. And Keith O'Brien, the NFA Wildcats taking the field.
Two heavyweights, Casey, here in the state of the world of high school football. The Xavier Falcons come down from Middletown, Connecticut to take on the ECC reigning bigwigs, the NFA Wildcats. It's a big-time matchup, Casey. A couple of really big schools, a couple of schools a little banged up, a little nicked up. Big expectations this year for the Xavier Falcons. They come into this game 2-3. They look at this game as, against NFA as something that'll catapult them along the, the rest of the way in the season. And NFA comes in 3-1, really, really hurting. Just trying to hang on, get some new guys in the mix a little bit. Should be an interesting ball game here at Norwich Free Academy.
Before the season started, we penciled this game in, and we thought we were going to have an offensive shootout, a game that was going to feature two of the best quarterbacks in the state, two high-profile franchises, a defending Class L champion, along with NFA, who is one of the powerhouse teams in the state of Connecticut.
State finals last year.
Two teams that we really thought were going to be playing perhaps as battle of the undefeateds, we thought, before we came in today. But instead, injuries have ravaged both teams. The Xavier Falcons are down to their third-string quarterback, and they will be running a much more vanilla type of offense than we would originally have expected. And, of course, NFA, who had perhaps, if not one of the most dynamic players in the state of Connecticut, quarterback Juwan Johnson, and he is out for this game. He's been out for a couple weeks. He will be returning to the NFA team. He is out with some health concerns, but so they will turn not only to a backup quarterback, but to a backup running back, to a backup split end, to a backup defensive end. They are riddled with injuries as well.
Tough to replace a dynamic player, like you said, in the speed of a Juwan Johnson. But, Coach Davis and his staff have worked all week long in the last 2 weeks to put kids in places where they can make plays and be successful. And that's the case right here. Injuries part of the game. That's what happens. Both these teams are, scratching their head a little bit 4 or 5 games into the season, Case. But it's a big-time matchup. It's a beautiful day for football. It's, like I said, it's a little chilly. It's blustery. It's homecoming here at NFA. Feels like football weather, and you were outside today, and you're not sweating on your brow.
No, I've already had soccer. The junior voice of Game Day pitched a shutout as the goalie for his soccer team in Colchester, Connecticut today. So he rushed on over here to come over and do what is bound to be a very competitive football game. I think in terms of these are two franchises that know how to win. Both of these teams expect to win, know how to win. We saw NFA, after suffering that what they would consider a surprising loss to Fitch, bounce back and get back on the winning track of things. Now, today is going to be a definite challenge for them, but they still have playoff aspirations ahead of them.
Oh, sure they do. And I think that win against Griswold was really important for boosting the confidence of some of the young players on the field for NFA. Again, losing on the road at Fitch and then, coming back and avenging, seasons lost before against Griswold. It done a lot for the team in practice this week and for their preparation. Kids, it keeps them upbeat, Casey, as they can hang on and get some fresh bodies or some healthy bodies back in the lineup.
When I talked to NFA head coach Jamal Davis, he said that he really expects the team to get healthier as the season goes on. They just kind of have to weather the storm. We are going to be bringing you this live game here between NFA and Xavier, but at the moment, everybody, we're going to honor America with the playing of our national anthem from the NFA Marching Band.
Yeah, a nice job there by the NFA marching band. And Casey, the beautiful thing about this game today is we don't get a chance on this end of the state to see a team like Xavier. This is an out-of-league game at two big-time schools, and I think both coaches are, a bit curious as to what the other team has to offer today. I think you probably see a lot of running of the football and a good, tough, physical football game.
Yeah, this was the week where I would say, the preeminent teams of the conference went out of conference to play this week. Fitch with a big win over Guilford, a team that
big win for that team.
Is from one of the best conferences in the state. New London played well, put up some points, but went up against an incredibly tough foreign team that beat them. And now you've got NFA going out of conference to play Xavier. So this was the out-of-conference week for some of the bigger teams in the conference.
And with Huddle and with a lot of the video footage that's going on out there, obviously teams can see, what other teams do. But, again, it's still a bit of a mystery because you don't play these teams. You don't really understand their full schemes, size, and speed because you don't see them in a year-in and year-out basis. I'm pumped up. This is going to be a good matchup.
NFA will receive the opening kickoff. They will be going right to left from the Wildcats section of the football field. Straight across. We are located right across the field from the high school, looking up at the big, beautiful scoreboard and the gymnasium.
Beautiful campus.
It is a beautiful campus here. A lot of great things here. The Slater Auditorium and Museum and the campus itself at NFA. Quite a hospitable place.
Did you have trouble parking?
I parked in Griswold. And
they made the yes.
And took a shuttle.
Sure you did. I knew I was gonna text you. Here we go.
Dominic Reynolds will kick off for Xavier from their own 40. Low line drive kick, and it comes down and will be brought up to the 30-yard line by the Falcons. Tackle on the play by number 4, Anthony Karamanica. And NFA will have its first possession of the day at their own 30-yard line. NFA, of course, we've mentioned the very dynamic quarterback, Juwan Johnson, out. They will have Shea McManaway running the offense today.
NFA dressed head to toe in the home red, and Xavier in the white tops with the black bottoms.
McManaway in the shotgun. Hands the ball off to Peyton Whitaker, number 14. Whitaker gains 3 into the heart of the Xavier line. And it'll bring up second down and call it 8. Snyder on the tackle for Xavier. You'll hear that name a lot. Nate Snyder, one of their preeminent offensive players.
3-3-5 defense played by the Falcons here early going in this game.
Griffin Gooden split wide left for the Wildcats. Shotgun. Handoff goes to big number 44 of the Wildcats.
Dijon Cummings
with the carry. And that'll be a first down, NFA's first down of the game, all the way up to the 48-yard line. Nice job by Cummings that time, bouncing it off tackle left.
14-yard pickup by Cummings, started up the middle, bounced it off to the left side, had some green real estate in front of him. Couple of good productive runs on first and second down for the Wildcats.
Trips right now for NFA. Cummings is the lone set with McManaway in the shotgun. Ball at their own 48-yard line. McManaway again to Cummings. Nothing there. Right in the backfield. Number 51, Nicholas Kavikis on the stop for a loss of 2. Kavetikis that time burst in between the tackle and guard and got into the backfield, rendering Cummings with no running room at all. And with 10:52 remaining here in the first, it'll be 2nd and 13 for the Wildcats.
Nice job up front by the defensive front by the Falcons on that play. Not fooled at all by the read option by Shea McManaway.
Smith and Masseno wide right along with Gooden. McManaway this time is going to throw. Pressured. Gets out of the pocket and is sacked. Brought down by Spencer McManus. McManus into the backfield and sacks McManaway for a big loss. And NFA going in the wrong direction. It's going to bring up 3rd and probably 14. Now make that 3rd and 24.
McManaway looking for a quick hitch on the outside, covered very well by Xavier defenders, Casey. Nowhere to go with that, but take a loss. Very active defensive front early going in this game for the Falcons.
Bobby Smith, Marquise Ward, and Maceno are split ride for NFA. Cummings is the lone set. McManaway with time. Throws, and it's intercepted by John Sadik. Sadik down the sideline for Xavier all the way to the 28-yard line and into the 24.
Sadik read the eyes the entire way of quarterback Shane McManaway. Stayed home, did not jump the route. Got a pick and took it back deep inside NFA territory. Good heads-up defensive play by the Falcons.
Nice job by Sadik that time. He saw, like you said, the eyes of the quarterback roll his way. He stepped right in front of the intended receiver and then broke a tackle and got the ball all the way down to the 22-yard line, maybe the 23.
And again, that's what happens when you have a young, inexperienced quarterback. He tends to stare down wide receivers, and Sadik stayed home in a great play.
Your quarterback is Colin McCarthy. He's in the shotgun. Glenn Cunningham is your lone set. Handoff goes to Cunningham. Cunningham gets into the second level. Cunningham knocked over. Nice tackle in the open field that time by Caleb Parker. Parker came up from his free safety position and went low and took out the legs of Cunningham, who had some running room.
Yeah, 5-yard pickup that time by Cunningham. He, looked like it was going to be a bigger gain than it was, but second down and 5, good down and distance here, early going for the Falcons.
Owen Gonzalez goes out wide left for Xavier. Cunningham is the set. McCarthy hands to Cunningham. Cunningham has a hole, gets to the middle, breaks to the outside, and is brought down. We're going to get a flag on the play as Cunningham got down into the inside the 10, but we're going to have our first flag of the day.
The neighborhood of holding, blocking the back will be the call here against Xavier, and it negates a real good run by Cunningham as he hit the hole, but bounced it to the left, but that will be all for naught.
Coach Sean Marion not happy with that play right there as the Wildcats were on their heels there, and instead the Xavier team kind of let them get some air under them, take a deep breath here, because they were reeling after the interception and a couple of nice runs. McCarthy will remain a quarterback. Cunningham is your lone set. Gonzalez goes left along with Joseph Galati. Pitch goes to Cunningham. Cunningham off the right side. Cunningham breaks a tackle. Cunningham breaks another tackle, diving for the end zone, and he's just shy of the end zone, down to the 1-yard line.
That great downfield blocking that time by the Xavier wide receivers. Man on man, Cunningham got a crack and took it to the outside. And, almost scored on that play. And Xavier moving the ball and taking advantage of the early good field position on the turnover, Casey.
Split right goes Owen Gonzalez. McCarthy will be in the shotgun. Cunningham is his lone set. McCarthy's going to keep it himself, and he's not going to be able to get in. A nice job by the Wildcat defense. Griffin Gooden that time, along with Caleb Parker and Peyton Whitaker, all stepped up to come in from their linebacker and free safety positions to stop him short of the goal line. So McCarthy could not get in, and it's going to bring up second down and goal from the 2.
Yeah, all McCarthy and all Cunningham earlier here for the Falcons as they look to punch this one in and, again, take advantage of the turnover.
One of the things you can do with a short field is you can run the football. This time, Cunningham is in the eye. McCarthy hands to Cunningham off the left tackle, diving for the end zone, and he's going to be short again. That time for NFA, shooting in was number 14, Peyton Whitaker, from his inside middle linebacker position, and Cunningham could not get to the goal line. 3rd and goal.
Good stop there by the NFA defense, and like you said, they're bringing their linebackers up, they're bringing their safeties up and their corners up, shooting the gap, stopping, and making plays.
Big 3rd and 1 from the 1-yard line. 7:30 here in the first period. Xavier looking to get on the board. McCarthy going to keep it himself, and it looks like he's going to ride that offensive line. We're still waiting for the official signal. It looked like he had the momentum to get in, but they're saying no. They are marking him down right on the goal line. And more importantly, Colin McCarthy can't get off the field.
Oh, boy, he's hurt. He's got a twisted ankle, looks like a twisted knee, banged up a little bit. Boy, what an absolute, first of all, terrible for the young man. And secondly, really, really hurts the football team. They're down to their 3rd-string quarterback.
Colin McCarthy, the 6'1 junior, was the third-string quarterback. Now, we are told by some personnel that Will Levis, one of the backup quarterbacks, did dress today, and we see him coming onto the field right now, Will Levis, as McCarthy seems like he is a little gimpy, but
he's favoring his right ankle.
They're going to bring him to the sideline, examine him, tape him up, and we'll see if he can go.
Left ankle, I'm sorry.
It's looking better as he walks off, but he's definitely got some form of lower leg injury. So on 4th down and goal, in comes Will Levis, the sophomore, who has already been out via injury this year. And so Xavier will go for it on 4th and 1 from the goal line, brand new quarterback, and they've got Glenn Cunningham as their lone set. Look for Cunningham. Cunningham gets it off left side. Cunningham breaks a tackle, but he won't get in. He won't get in. What a job. Coming out of the pack.
Wow.
All of the NFA Wildcats. Peyton Whitaker.
First and goal from the 1-yard line, and the NFA defense turns back the Falcons offense. Great goal line stand, Casey O'Neill.
The two middle linebackers, captains, Peyton Whitaker and Ford Samity. They're the two that made the tackle there on 4th down. Senior leadership. But just like when you catch the snake, now you got to bag the snake. NFA on its own goal line.
I like that. It's very good.
I was watching a lot of snake shows last night.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, we got a keeper, I believe, on the play. That time, McManaway was just going to pull forward. That's the old Tom Brady.
Sure.
Dive forward and try to get yourself a couple of yards to get out of harm's way. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9. He tried to get the ball out just off his own goal line. The ball was literally marked inside the 1. I mean, it was as close to being a touchdown as you could possibly get. With 6:21 remaining in the first period, 2nd and 9 for NFA. McManaway has Peyton Whitaker as his lone set from the shotgun in his own end zone. Hands it off to Whitaker. Whitaker hit immediately, bounces forward for maybe 2.
Tough running up front that time for Peyton Whitaker. This is one of those positions in the field here where NFA's offense does not want to make a mistake. You got 3rd and 7. You dodged a bullet on 4th down. Nothing cute down here, Casey. Just, you know what? Run the ball. Keep it simple with a young quarterback.
Credit Anthony Bizio coming up from his corner position that time. This time Cummings is the lone setback with McManaway in the end zone. Hand off to Cummings. Cummings tries to break outside. He can't do it. Dragged to the turf. Almost immediately shooting in from his linebacker position was Nate Snyder. That's the 2nd time we've called his name. And with 4th and 7, NFA is going to be punting the ball out of its own end zone.
Job well done there by the Xavier defense to keep the field position in their favor. Hopefully with the punt coming up, but that's a good defensive stand once again by Xavier.
Owen Gonzalez will stand inside of the NFA 40-yard line. NFA will be punting from literally the back of the end zone. The punter cannot even take a step back, or he will go out of the back of the end zone. So we're going to see, this is a very difficult punt. Spencer Mokentine booms it. Gonzalez fields it at the NFA 45, gets a block, cuts to the outside, and is brought down right there at the 40-yard line. Brought down by number 7 on the play, Ford Samity. And Samity will make the tackle for NFA. 1st and 10, Xavier from the Wildcat 40.
Well, I don't think there's any mystery here is what we're seeing. We knew it was going to be a tough, hard-nosed football game. We knew there was going to be a lot of running involved. And we knew there was going to be a very limited offense. Number 3 comes back out, and he is back for...
So Will Levis will be the quarterback. He's got Cunningham as his lone set. In the shotgun, hands to Cunningham. Cunningham gets through the left tackle and into the linebackers, where he's brought down after a gain of 5. Brought down by Whitaker, and it'll be 2nd and a short field. Nice job on 1st down by Cunningham.
4 carries for 33 yards so far early going for Cunningham. 24 coming on that one big run. He is going to be the workhorse here today for the Falcons.
You can see quarterback Colin McCarthy, the starting quarterback today, running on the sidelines, trying to convince the coaches that he can play, and he is doing his best. Right now, Will Levis is back in quarterback for Xavier, the sophomore, as it'll be 1st and 15 as there was a holding call on that play. So Xavier hurting its own cause here. Xavier has not done a good job with penalties in the early going.
Now, three penalties so far for Xavier here in the early going.
Levis, wide pitch, it goes to Cunningham. Cunningham trying to get to the outside, breaks a tackle and makes it up past the original line of scrimmage. He was pursued by Peyton Whitaker in the backfield, but he eluded Whitaker and got back the penalty. It's going to bring up second down and 9, maybe 8 at the NFA 36-yard line with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining here in the first period. Trips right now for NFA. They're going 4 wide. Cunningham is the lone set. Levis still the quarterback. Levis looking to throw and throws it into the flat. Incomplete. He was looking for Joe Galati. Pass was thrown a little bit low into the right flat, and it's going to be 3rd and 8 now. And starting quarterback Colin McCarthy is now going to the coach and saying, Coach, I'm ready to roll. In this thing.
I am ready to roll. That's what you get out of a touchdown football player. Wants to be on the field, wants to help his team.
Well, he's not going to get quite in on this one. Xavier, twins right, in motion goes Galati. Levis, the quarterback, will throw from the shotgun. Plenty of time, steps up, 1 foot, throws, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Caleb Parker. And Parker will return the interception all the way to his own 36-yard line. Goal line stand, interception. NFA defense, again, bails its offense out.
Yeah, Parker almost playing center field in that play. Saw the quarterback's eye, stayed home, and, good job here. Back-to-back possessions by the NFA defense. And, this is going to be one of those games where, there's not going to be a lot of throwing involved. And, the mistakes so far, will, prove to probably be the game, Casey.
Each quarterback with an early pick. NFA back on offense from its own 36-yard line. McManaway is the quarterback, and we have timeout on the field from NFA. And that's a good time to tell you that Game Day is brought to you today by the M.J. Sullivan Automotive Corner, the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut, and Lawrence and Memorial Hospital. Now, M.J. Sullivan Hyundai, where no money down means no money down. You can lease a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport for no money down and only $279 a month for 36 months. They'll pay your first payment. They'll pay your upfront sales tax. Hey, they'll even pay your registration and dealer conveyance fees. That's right. You pay $0 down and only $279 a month for a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport only at M.J. Sullivan Hyundai, corner of Broad and Coleman Street in New London. If you want to see their entire inventory, you go to mjsullivanauto.com.
A couple of big defensive stands and a couple of big defensive plays. 4th and goal line stand by the NFA defense, and then an interception. So NFA's defense is up to the challenge, and I'm sure Coach Davis is just looking for any kind of combination right now to get his offense going in gear, Case.
Yeah, both quarterbacks, neither coach wanted to see them throw a lot today.
No.
And both quarterbacks made what I would consider to be inexperienced throws. One where his eyes never left his receiver, and the other throwing sort of off his front foot into coverage. McManaway is going to throw on first down. He's got a receiver. Pass is complete to Griffin Gooden. The senior captain has a first down up to the 46-yard line, and there's a good example. That's a great coaching job in that timeout. Coach Davis clearly explained to McManaway, 3-step drop, get the ball out of your hands. He ran a nice, safe slant route to Gooden, one of his veteran receivers, first down NFA.
Yeah, Gooden is a senior. He's been here a while. He's a very, very good athlete, good baseball player, and called upon to make plays.
McManaway in the shotgun. Cummings is his lone set. Fakes the handoff. Instead, he throws it in the slot to Marquise Ward. Marquise Ward tries to get outside of there. A little bubble screen to the wide receiver Ward, but not much there. Nice job by Xavier. Bring up 2nd and 9 with 3:11 here in the first period. NFA at its own 47-yard line.
The thing with those bubble screens, though, is you need other wide receivers and other people blocking. And at that time, no blocking on the outside for the NFA, for the Wildcats. 2-yard gain.
Spencer Mokentine, along with Elaine Messino, that time did not get out on their blocks as well as they would like. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8. McManaway hands the ball off to Cummings. Cummings tries to break it off right tackle, but not much there. Nice job by the Xavier secondary to come up. Spencer McManus and Gonzalez, along with Cunningham, all coming in from their linebacker position and free safety position. 3rd and 6 with the ball just over midfield at the Xavier 49-yard line. Wildcats have it 3rd and 6 with 2:20. McManaway from the shotgun. Dijon Cummings will be his lone setback. Twins left, Twins right. Fake handoff. Quick throw over the middle to Ward, and it's incomplete. Trying to find Marquise Ward, but he was stuck pretty well by Glenn Cunningham that time. It would have been a first down, but instead incomplete it goes, and that's going to bring up 4th and 6. And Spencer Mokentine will come out to punt for NFA. And this time, though, Keith, he'll be in good field position to punt, not standing at the back of his own end zone.
Yeah, nice job by the Wildcats here to pick up a couple of first downs and get themselves out of the shadow of their own goal line off the interception. So, NFA trying to flip the field position back on Xavier right here.
Gonzalez stands deep for Xavier. Mokentine gets off a low spinner, bounces at the 20, and takes a slight NFA bounce inside the 15 to the 13-yard line, and that's where NFA will down it. So Xavier now has their worst. They had 2 cracks with real good field position. Now they're back on their own end zone.
Yeah, and then the big thing with this game is you've seen both quarterbacks make a mistake early, but it hasn't hurt their team yet because their defense have stepped up and make plays. And I guess that's all you can ask for as a coaching staff. If your offense turns the ball over and an inexperienced quarterback throws a pick, just as long as the defense can come up and bail you out a little bit.
1:49 remaining here in the first period. We have no score. NFA has had 2 big defensive efforts, a goal line stand after the offense threw an interception, and then after a 3 and out, and another interception by NFA. So both teams with some turnovers early. Xavier back on offense. Handoff that time looked like it went to Jalen Williams. We'll see who comes up out of the pack with it. Hard to tell. There was a quick slip. It was number 26, Nate Snyder. So Snyder with the carry that time for Xavier. Not much there. Tackled by the interior of that NFA line. Those big ends in the middle there for NFA.
Big Noah Brown, number 75, takes up a lot of space for the NFA Wildcats on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, the Brown boys, Javon and Noah, the big boys. Pitch out, it goes to Snyder. Snyder is going to break the tackle of Whitaker, but couldn't elude the next job by the secondary of NFA. That time flying in was number 10, Caleb Parker. So nice job by Whitaker. Early contact in the backfield and allowing Parker to clean it up.
Yeah, and you're going to see the NFA linebackers in their secondary very, very athletic to go with some big people up front. And side to side, NFA looks pretty good here on D.
Levis is still your quarterback. Snyder is in the shotgun with him in the set. Levis going to throw. Plenty of time. Throws over the middle. Ball is tipped and intercepted. Intercepted by Caleb Parker. Caleb Parker off the tip drill will put NFA in good position at the Xavier 30-yard line. 2
pass attempts by young Will Levis, 2 interceptions by the NFA defense. And again, that's the safety making a big-time play. Heads up. And Casey, how many times do we see it? On any level, tip ball in the secondary equals an interception.
Well, on 3rd and longs, NFA dropped back into a big zone. And the center of the field is open in that, and Levis tried to find it, but great job by the linebackers dropping, tipped ball, and then Caleb Parker with an athletic interception in the middle of the field. NFA sets up nicely at the Xavier 30-yard line. McManaway hands the ball off to Cummings. Cummings breaks a tackle and gets back just past the line of scrimmage. Couldn't do more than that as Snyder shot into the backfield. Nate Snyder was in there before Cummings even got the football. But he managed to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, Cummings carrying the load here early for the Wildcats. 5 carries and just 15 yards. He's had some tough running, but they're going to keep pounding the middle of that Xavier defense, it looks like, if you're NFA.
We were told by Coach Davis that today's going to be a lot of runs and a lot of ball control. They tried to throw the ball. It hurt them early. The defense has stepped up big. That's what he said today was going to be. It was going to be about ball control and defense, and I think both teams are feeling that way. We're at the end of the first quarter here at Norwich Free Academy. No score between the home Wildcats of NFA and the visiting Falcons of Xavier. The second quarter is brought to you by the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut. The Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut is the region's leading STEM-themed school. The nationally recognized magnet program prepares students to succeed, and not just during their 4 years of high school, but for a future beyond the magnet school. You can transform your passion for science, technology, engineering, or math to reality at STMHS. That's ST8MHS, Science and Technology Magnet School. They are now accepting applications for next school year. So learn more and come apply online at nltmhs.com.
Well, that was the first quarter of, a lot of running, not a lot of passing. We've seen 6 passes in this game early in the first quarter with 3 interceptions, and I think both coaches want to stay away from the passing game as much as they can, but you got to take a shot every once in a while. You see some inexperienced play at quarterback on both sides, but all in all, it's a good, tough, hard-nosed physical football game early going here in the first quarter. Homecoming at NFA.
2nd and 10, first play of the second quarter. NFA now going left to right in their home all-red uniforms and a flag thrown on the play. The officials are going to talk about it. The clouds are rolling in. It's becoming a little... we need that sun. It gets a little blustery with that cloud cover.
You like your vantage point up here? I mean, this is not exactly a press box, but it is a wonderful vantage point.
We have a beautiful view. I'm appreciative of where they put us. It's a little daunting. The junior voice at game day says he's get thumbs up on the spot. He's enjoying the...
He's told not to take a step back.
The open air. Yeah, there's a very open air. McManaway has Whitaker in the backfield. McManaway is going to throw on the quick slant. He was looking for Gooden. No good, incomplete as the ball was thrown to the feet that time of Griffin Gooden. McManaway wishes he had that one back. I think that's a throw he makes. We saw him make it earlier to Gooden. They went back to the same play. This time the throw was low.
2 for 5 for 12 yards and an interception early going here from McManaway. Just trying to get his bearings back there, a little back at QB. And
4 wide this time. In motion, Ward. McManaway with time. Deep down the field, he's looking for Gooden, and it is incomplete. Great job by Anthony Bizzio and Glenn Cunningham to knock the ball out of the hands of Griffin Gooden inside the 10-yard line. That would have been a big play, but instead, 4th and 10.
Gooden was double covered on the play. The corner and safety help over the top by Xavier. All kinds of people down there dragging at the ball. Griffin Gooden almost came down with a nice catch.
Yep, Gooden had both hands on it, but...
McManaway had time on that throw, too. That's one thing to look at. The offensive line doing a good job so far for NFA.
Going to go for it on 4th and down. McManaway this time goes over the middle of the field, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Xavier at the 16-yard line, so as good as a punt, I suppose.
That ball almost looked like it slipped out of McManaway's hands. It was floating down the middle of the field, and just very, very challenged right now is NFA in the passing game.
I would very much like to give credit to the young man who made the interception.
Sure.
Number 45. However, he's not listed on our roster.
That is the 4th interception in this game.
That is the
4th interception.
And we see the field position changing. Now, Xavier had 2 cracks inside NFA territory. Now their last 2 possessions, they're going farther and farther back. Owen Gonzalez is wide left for Xavier. And still in the game at quarterback is Will Levis. We have not seen Colin McCarthy since he came limping off earlier in the game. Levis in the pistol hands the ball off to Cunningham. Nothing there. The interior of the NFA defensive line today has been exceptional, led, of course, by Javon Brown.
77, Javon Brown, Noah Brown, number 75. There's some big people up front for the academy.
Yeah, they got some big bodies. Those guys can really take up space, and they allow the rest of the NFA defense, like Jake Dolan and Peyton Whitaker, to come in and make plays. Levis rolls weak side, throws in the flat, complete. Nicely done that time to Austin Hurwitz. Hurwitz will have a first down for Xavier. Nice job that time by Levis, rolling to his weak side, flipping it out to Hurwitz, and Hurwitz turned it upfield and got Xavier a little breathing room.
Yeah, nice little pitch and catch there by the Xavier Falcons, and maybe that's what they need to do with some of these quarterbacks. Somebody's a little inexperienced, get him out of the pocket, get him on his feet, get him on the edge a little bit.
Levis hands the ball off to Cunningham. Not a lot there. Cunningham wrestled to the ground by Peyton Whitaker along with big Javon Brown. And that's going to bring up 2nd and long with the ball spotted at the 32-yard line of Xavier. Xavier going right to left. No score here at NFA. The clouds are rolling in. The wind is picking up. If you think it's tough to throw the ball now, wait till you see what it gets like when the wind picks up.
Feels like football weather, Casey.
It does. Love this kind of weather. Will Levis pitches wide to Cunningham. Cunningham tries to break a tackle but can't elude Peyton Whitaker. Peyton Whitaker, nice job from his inside linebacker position. Also coming off of that pile for NFA was Javon Brown, and they are now with 3rd and 9 is Xavier with the ball at their own 35-yard line. You see Cunningham coming off this time, which means that the running back will be Nate Snyder, along with Austin Hurwitz, who's heading out into the slot. 4 wide receivers for Levis this time. Hurwitz comes in motion. Levis from the shot. Levis looking left, looking for Hurwitz in the flat. It's caught and immediately drilled to the ground.
Very close to a first down.
What a nice tackle that time by R.J. Darby, number 34. And that's going to bring up 4th down. A crucial tackle by Darby, as he did not allow any rack run after the catch by Hurwitz.
Darby moving side to side very well that time. He's a big athletic kid, too. Good stop by NFA.
Anthony Karamanica in to punt for Xavier. Snap is good. Gets the punt away. Low line drive that bounces at the 40. Taken there by NFA with a seam. Still running. What a great job that time.
Isaiah Price, number 11.
Isaiah Price. Thank you. Someone has an updated roster that we don't have.
We're getting on it. We're working on it up here. This is a makeshift booth, a makeshift broadcast, I guess. We're doing all right. NFA in decent field position here off a nice punt return, and so far, field position is the story of the game here.
NFA sets up inside Xavier territory. 9 minutes remaining in the first half. McManaway with Cummings as his lone set. Hands the ball to Cummings. This time Cummings gets out into the flat and is brought down. Nice job by Glenn Cunningham, the two-way star of the Xavier Falcons, and that's a gain of maybe a half a yard. NFA really struggling to run the football.
Boy, if anything in this game on both sides of the football, you're seeing good sound tackling up front by both defenses.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's busting a tackle. Nobody's out of position right now. Good, solid up front football.
McManaway, again it goes to Cummings. Cummings this time gets to the outside, and close to a first down goes Dijon Cummings. But that's a great point, Keith. You know, both teams have not only tackled well on the interior line, but the linebackers and the free safeties and cornerbacks have all really allowed no broken tackles.
I don't think I've seen one slip tackle so far, and credit the big people up front on both teams for holding their ground. I mean, that's a big NFA offensive line. It's a big Xavier defensive line.
3rd and a short one from the pistol, McManaway, and we're going to get a timeout. Coach Jamal Davis did not like what he saw out there from his offense. He's going to huddle them up together, and with 8:27 remaining here, 3rd and 1 NFA, ball at the Xavier 40-yard line, big 3rd and 1.
Yeah, it's a big 3rd down. Coach Davis wants to make sure he's got the proper personnel, the proper play call, and, you know, he's thinking about possibly, you know, getting a first down, keeping the chains moving, and picking up 6 for the Wildcats.
Yep, this is one of their better opportunities. If you're just joining us, this has been a game of turnovers and field position. Both teams shorthanded at the quarterback position. We already saw Xavier lose its 3rd-string quarterback and have to go back to its 2nd-string quarterback, who is also injured. And we've seen NFA relying on their backup quarterback and a lot of new faces. So it has been a challenge for both offenses, but I credit both defenses. I think both defenses have played very well.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the quarterback play and the mistakes over there, it's been a sound football game thus far.
We've seen NFA use predominantly Dijon Cummings in the backfield. He's a big kid, hard runner, but the Xavier stout run defense. We have a 3rd and 1 now. NFA with the ball at the Xavier 39-yard line. McManaway has Peyton Whitaker in the backfield. Whitaker gets the carry, and Whitaker is not going to get the first down. We're going to see where the spot is, but he is right on it, and I don't think he got it.
That's a read option down the line where McManaway has got to see that outside linebacker is staying home and maybe pull the ball out of Whitaker's belly and taking him up himself. And I guess that comes with experience or inexperience at the quarterback position. But if McManaway could have kept that ball, he had a lane up through the middle.
No offense to Shea McManaway, but when Jawan Johnson does that,
sure, yeah,
that brings 3 guys to the ball. No one went with Peyton McManaway. 4th down. Fake by McManaway. This time he's going to keep it, and he is crushed. Nate Snyder shoots in from his linebacker position and gets Shea McManaway at the 45-yard line. Turnover on downs. That play had no chance.
That play had no chance because, again, McManaway did not sell the read option to the Cummings going up the middle. And, with a real fast, aggressive defensive line, that's all Xavier is doing is pushing up field.
It's like they listened to us because on the previous play you said that McManaway didn't do a nice job with the read. He could have kept it.
Sure.
If I'm Xavier, I'm never going after McManaway. It's not like, again, Juwan Johnson, I got to send 3 guys.
Right.
I'm going to let McManaway show he can run the football. 1st and 10, ball on their own 45-yard line. Xavier puts their original quarterback back in the game, but they hand off to Cunningham. So Colin McCarthy's back into the football game. The junior quarterback who started today is on a gimpy ankle. He taped it up. He's been trying to get back into the game. He's finally convinced the coaches to let him. And that opened up a nice hole that time. 7 yards for Cunningham on 1st down. Xavier looking to pick up the pace here with McCarthy back at quarterback. This time McCarthy's going to keep it. But nice job from Peyton Whitaker shooting in at the linebacker spot. That's a gutsy thing for the kid who's got the ankle injury to do the quarterback keeper on the read option.
He's got 4 carries for 0 yards early going in this game. Cunningham is the workhorse. He's got 8 carries. So, just keep it moving with the running back.
And they're going to rotate quarterbacks because Will Levis is back in the football game here on 3rd and 3. Cunningham is the lone set in the shotgun. Trips right for Xavier. Levis is going to throw. Levis rolls right. Levis throws. Ball is tipped and incomplete. Nice job that time by R.J. Darby of the NFA Wildcats. He tipped it. Levis was looking for Joe Galati, but great job by Darby.
Back-to-back throws here by the Xavier coaching staff where they get Levis on the edge a little bit, trying to make some plays out there. So, they let the quarterback in space, just a tip ball there.
Anthony Karamanica back into the game to punt for Xavier. He will punt it from his own 38-yard line. The electric Isaiah Price is back deep. We've already seen him have 1 good return. Price will field this one at his own 10. And Price brought to the ground.
Nice tackle.
John Sadak, we saw him intercept the ball earlier from his cornerback position. What a great job on punt coverage. A lot of these Xavier kids playing special teams, playing both ways. Sadak with a great tackle.
Yeah, Price had a lane on the left-hand side there, and just a great open field stop by Sadak. Good sound football tackling, both sides of the ball.
And now again, NFA backed up into their own. So we really have seen which team's going to make that crucial mistake. NFA takes over at their own 10-yard line.
And there will be one. There will be one. You understand that, don't you?
I do understand that. Now that you've told me, I understand. McManaway from the shotgun. Hands off. Up the middle it goes to Whitaker. Whitaker is going to gain about 5 yards on 1st down. Nice job up the middle that time by Peyton Whitaker. And with 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the first half, no score between NFA and Xavier. Both teams making mistakes. Both defenses playing very well. Both coaches searching for answers.
4 carries for 8 yards here early going for Peyton Whitaker.
McManaway from the shot. Fakes the handoff to Whitaker. Keeps it himself. He's in the open. Nice job that time all the way to the 30-yard line. There's a good job by Shea McManaway.
That time, McManaway sold the fullback. Everybody pinched to the middle of the field. He saw the lane, caught a crack on the outside, and it's probably the best open field run so far this ball game.
Nice job by Shea McManaway. Gets NFA up to their own 30-yard line. Little bit of breathing room. He stays in the game. He's got Whitaker as his lone set. They're running the pistol, 4 wides. Handoff this time goes, in fact, to Whitaker. Whitaker trying to break a tackle but can't get out of the grasp. And that time, Xavier did a nice job of pursuit from the linebacker position.
And what that run by McManaway will do is soften up the interior of that Xavier defense where they can get some players on the edge a little bit. You need a big play like that to soften things up because, Xavier's got one speed right now on defense, and that is full throttle towards the quarterback.
Going to be 2nd and 8 for NFA from their own 34-yard line. Straight drop. McManaway has time. Deep over the field. The wind knocked it down, and it's going to be intercepted by Cunningham. Glenn Cunningham intercepts the football at midfield, and clearly the wind bothered the throw that time of Shea McManaway. It knocked it down like a wedge going into the 3rd green.
3rd interception of the game by McManaway, so... Boy, oh boy, that's a drive killer right there. It's a tough condition to throw the ball into the wind there as well.
So another turnover, and now Xavier takes over. These defenses have really, really bailed out.
Did I not tell
offense.
you mistakes were going to be the storyline of this game?
You did say that.
I did.
You did say that. But we haven't seen them,
Nothing costly on the scoreboard yet.
no points off of any of these turnovers. 5:14 remaining here in the first half. Xavier will take the ball over 1st and 10, just into NFA territory at the 48-yard line. We're going to effort who number 45 on Xavier is. We have some inside sources. We're going to find out that young man had an interception and has been playing well on defense. Xavier, Levis, hands the ball off to Snyder. Snyder over right tackle for a gain of about 4. And Will Levis is staying in the football game at quarterback. Xavier has had to go through multiple quarterbacks today. Original starter Colin McCarthy has started, was hurt, came back, now is back on the sideline again, and young Will Levis, the sophomore, is taking over. Anthony Gonzalez and Parker Rowley are split left for Xavier. In motion goes Galati. Handoff up the middle to Jalen Williams, and Jalen Williams will get about 4 yards off right tackle. Out of the pack for NFA comes Jake Dolan, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that NFA defense is doing a real nice job. They basically going with a base defense. They are not bringing extra people in the box. They are not bringing their safeties or corners up. So that defensive front for NFA holding its own so far in the first half of the Wildcats.
Galati and Gonzalez in the slot and wide left. Levis hands off to Williams, and nothing there. Nothing there. Brown and Brown, the Brown boys. What can Brown do for you? Well, they can stop you on 3rd and short and bring up a big 4th down.
Big stop by the Wildcats. Again, the big people up front doing work. Noah Brown, Javon Brown, linebackers filling in, everybody helping out up front for the defense. Good solid effort so far in the first half of the academy.
If their nickname isn't UPS, I'm going to start saying it is.
Oh, boy, don't start. It's a day off for the kid here, so.
45-yard line. Karamatica with the punt. Nice booming punt inside the 5. NFA is going to let it bounce and go into the end zone for a touchback. And NFA will have the ball 1st and 10 from its own 20 with 3:29 remaining. No score here in the half.
Yeah, finally we see a player let the ball go into the end zone from the 10-yard line. We've been seeing it all year long. We used to be told back in Pee-wees and midgets when we were kids, step back as far as the 10. You see it all the time now. Guys wanting to make plays and costing their teams yardage. Good, smart football by NFA right there.
We've seen everything on punts.
No, we've seen team not field punts. I don't know what's going on at Ledger High School.
1st and 10. No, Ledger, though, with a big win last night.
Huge. Nice win.
They got back into they're cruising again with some big games against NFA and coming up, so they got some work to do. NFA, Shea McManaway hands off to Whitaker up the middle, and Whitaker's going to have about 2 yards. Nice job again. The interior of the defense, Nicholas Kvetikis, along with number 9, Jared Perry, for the Xavier Falcons.
6 carries for 12 yards here for Whitaker. Early going for the Wildcats. They've spread the ball out pretty well. Whitaker and Cummings and, McManaway all getting touches for the Wildcats.
2nd and 10. McManaway again hands the ball off to Whitaker. This time Whitaker has a opening and gets it up over left tackle until brings up a 3rd and short. Probably a gain of 7 that time. All the way up. Ball is going to be marked at the 26-yard line.
Sooner or later, Casey, you're going to have to think that one of these running backs for NFA is going to get a crack with those big guys up front for the Wildcats.
Xavier plays very good run defense. We have not seen a lot. It's been a very, very disciplined Xavier defense. McManaway this time hands the ball off to Cummings, and nothing there. Ball's on the turf, and Xavier has recovered. Ball recovered by Xavier. Coming out of it that time was Nick Kvetikis. What a nice job. The Xavier defense has been getting turnover after turnover. Both teams just creating turnovers with their defense.
The 5th NFA turnover in the first half, whether it's via the pick or the fumble. Boy, oh boy, it's a huge blow there for the NFA offense. And Xavier once again in ideal field position off of a turnover. A pick in the first quarter, they couldn't cash in. They got a fumble here now. They set up shop inside of the NFA 30. Let's see if the Falcons can cash in and get 6.
Xavier will send Will Levis in. He's in the shotgun. Cunningham is the lone set. In motion comes Colin McCarthy. The starting quarterback is in there as still. He rolls left. Levis is looking up the middle. Ball is complete to Parker Rowley, the tight end, inside the NFA 20. And as we're heading down to 2 minutes, now we see Levis and McCarthy in the game at the same time.
Yeah, Rowley's been one of their big receivers so far this year. 14 catches for 140 yards and 5 touchdowns on the season. That is his first touch of the game.
Levis from the shotgun has Cunningham next to him. McCarthy in motion. Straight snap to Levis, looking to throw. Over the middle and tipped. Tipped that time. Big number 77, Javon Brown, knocked it down for NFA, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and short. But Xavier looks like very comfortable working the middle of the field here with good field position. 1:49 remaining in the half. No score, but Xavier with the ball inside the NFA 20.
Yeah, and Levis looks good on the move as far as throwing the football rather than just the standard drop back and throw it.
From the shotgun, Levis hands the ball off to Cunningham. Cunningham will be brought down right by the first down marker. Looks like Peyton Whitaker coming up to make the tackle. And the officials looks like they're going to mark it, and we may get a spot.
That's a big-time play there by number 14. He got out there, and Whitaker made a real good open field tackle there.
It's going to be just short. It's going to bring up 4th down, and they're going to say, nope, 1st down. That's a big call right
good
there.
Spot. Good spot.
So with 1:38 remaining, a new set of downs, Xavier still in business. Ball at the 17-yard line of NFA. So, barring something unforeseen, the half will end with either points or no points from Xavier.
9 carries for about 46 yards here for big Glenn Cunningham as he is handling the load for Xavier. And Xavier right now has just got to think about possibly keeping the ball on the ground, Casey O'Neill, and punching one in here before the half.
Timeout on the field. 1:33 remaining in the first half. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien. Junior Voice Game Day is up in the booth as well. Got no score here at NFA where the home Wildcats are playing host to Middletown's Xavier Falcons. And it has been a turnover-ridden first half, but the defenses have been playing big. The offense is turning the ball over. Interceptions, fumbles. We've seen a little bit of everything here. We've seen injured quarterbacks. We've seen guys on defense make plays, but at the end of it all, no score. Xavier, 1st and 10 with the ball inside the NFA 20 at the 18.
The NFA is going to have to call upon its defense again to make a play here with their backs against the wall.
Levis, shotgun. No pressure, throws incomplete. He was looking for John Sadik, and we know Sadik can go and get the football. We've seen him do it.
He's got a pick in this game already.
Yes, he does, and it was a good throw by Levis, but just a little bit long, running the seam route that time. Just a little bit off the fingertips. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10 with 1:29 remaining.
Surprisingly to me, Casey, Xavier opening things up when the running game was effective for them.
Again, Levis throws over the middle, tipped again, and intercepted! What an interception by Isaiah Price! Oh my goodness! Galati thought he had it on the tip, and Price off a double tip intercepts it!
I just said, surprisingly, Xavier opening things up when they probably should be hammering the ball down NFA's throats. Wow, what a missed opportunity for the Falcons.
Give credit to the NFA defense. Their linebackers have been tipping everything, hands in the air. That ball was tipped by NFA, tipped by Xavier, and Isaiah Price with an outstanding interception. Now, with the ball at their own 5-yard line and 1:20 remaining in the half.
Nothing cute here.
I don't expect
we've got a 6-pack of interceptions in the first half, 3 on each side.
Yeah, NFA is going to go here, snap it straight to Peyton Whitaker is going to get the carry. McManaway to Whitaker, gain of maybe a yard, and I think we're going to see Xavier kill the clock here. Yeah, Xavier's going to call a timeout. With all these turnovers, they want NFA to have to keep snapping this football.
Yeah, sure. And NFA, if they do turn the ball, if they do have to give the ball up on downs, NFA is going to be punting into the wind. And, we've seen 6 interceptions in the first half. We've seen a fumble. So what Xavier's thinking is, why not a block punt?
Yeah,
We've basically seen everything but a score.
forget a blocked punt. If they have to punt into this wind, we've seen what happens with the quarterbacks trying to throw the football.
Sure.
And that might be part of why Xavier's throwing the ball right now, trying to take advantage of that wind, knowing that next half they're not going to have the wind again. So having the wind, maybe they're trying to throw the ball. But a punt out of the end zone into this wind isn't going to clear the 30-yard line. So Xavier figures they hold them here, they can have a chance at great field position and maybe with the wind, one more crack at the end zone.
Yeah, right. Right, I'm sure with NFA coaching staff and Coach Davis over there is just don't make a mistake. I mean, clean center quarterback exchange, clean handoffs. Do not turn the ball over down this deep in our own end.
Ball is marked at the 5-yard line. 2nd and 10 NFA, 1:12 remaining in this scoreless first half. Shea McManaway hands the ball off to Whitaker, and nothing there. Whitaker with maybe even a loss of a yard. Yeah, he's going to be marked at the 4. Wrong direction. And Xavier will use its second timeout.
Yeah, 3 timeouts, Casey. You cannot take those timeouts to the locker room and carry them over in the second half. So, a little bit of a strategic football by the Xavier Falcons.
Stick around for the MJ Sullivan halftime show coming up here in 1 minute and 5 seconds. It's homecoming here on the campus of Norwich Free Academy. We may or may not have a guest. We may or may just talk.
We've got a guest up here.
Do we have a guest?
We've got Kenny Danowitz up here. It's a bit of a homecoming for the sports doctor as well. I mean, we were at your old stomping grounds, New London High School, a few weeks ago. I spent a lot of time up here in the Norwich area and the Basra area and spent a lot of time on the campus.
But you did not attend NFA.
I did. As a freshman, I attended NFA.
Before you moved to the metropolis of
North
Wheeler,
Stonington.
Wheeler High School.
Yes.
So the campus of Wheeler High School, which can fit in the Slater Auditorium here at NFA. 3rd and 12, 1:06 remaining. Big play for both teams. NFA on its own 4-yard line. McManaway tries to get Xavier to jump, but I think his own line may have moved instead, and that's going to back him up even farther.
Now, we're still late for classes my senior year, even a campus that small.
Well, that
the long walk.
You would have been late had the classes been across the hall. I think that spoke more to your motivation than it did to the campus.
Where were you, Keith? Where were you? How come you're late for class? Well, I mean, it was a long walk.
Sorry, Mr. Han. I just couldn't do it.
16 feet is a long walk?
Bunch
set here by the Wildcats.
All about perception. McManaway, just a quarterback keeper to punch it out to his own 4-yard line. And we're down under a minute. And Xavier is going to get the ball back. They are going to force NFA to punt the ball into the wind out of their own end zone. Number 22 for the Wildcats, Spencer Mokentine, is standing on the edge, the very back of his own end zone. He cannot take a step backwards. Number 10, Owen Gonzalez stands at the NFA 35-yard line waiting the punt for Xavier. 25 seconds remaining in the half, and NFA is going to call its final timeout of the half. So with 24 seconds remaining, no score in the first half, NFA punting deep from its own territory will be standing, Spencer Mokentine will be standing on his own back of the end zone into the wind, basically just get it off. Don't have it blocked.
And if I'm Xavier, I put 11 guys on the line of scrimmage and go out and get it.
And if he does get it off into the wind, you got to figure you get a couple plays inside the 30-yard line. So join us here for the MJ Sullivan Auto halftime show live on the campus of NFA. The sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, will bring in renowned official Ken Danowitz, talk a little bit about whatever it is you are going to talk about.
He's a bit of a renaissance man. We can talk everything. We can talk high school. We can talk college. We can talk NFL. And we will certainly talk Dallas Cowboy football, too, because he is a Cowboy fan.
You can talk about more than just
that. And you're a Cowboy fan.
I am a Cowboy.
I will get into you in the second half.
Kenny is the original Dano, not Hawaii Five-0.
Here we go.
Mokentine gets the snap, gets it, and it's blocked! And it's blocked! And it's blocked, recovered by Xavier in the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons!
Oh, the mistakes. Big time play. What a great job by Xavier calling 3 timeouts with NFA backed up to their goal line and then blocking the punt. 11 men on the line of scrimmage pays dividends. In a game of mistakes, that could be the biggest mistake of all by NFA.
And we've seen interceptions, fumbles, and with 17 seconds left, finally points on the board via the blocked punt.
That was almost
Xavier.
Scripted, Casey. It was almost scripted.
What a great job. Dominic Reynolds in for the extra point, and it's blocked because, big number 77, Javon Brown, burst through, and that could be important later on. 17.6 seconds remaining here in the first half. Our first points of the game. Xavier 6, NFA 0. Wow. All those turnovers, and finally, points.
What a wild sequence there by NFA. I mean, the interception, they're backed up against their own goal line. 3 straight running plays went nowhere. Xavier calls 3 timeouts and then blocks an NFA punt.
NFA's defense has not given up a point. They have played spectacularly today, and they're trailing 6-0 going into the half. And Coach Davis has got to be. He has to be thrilled with how that defense has played today.
Yeah, it's boy, oh boy, what a tough football game. What a tough football game to figure out.
And crazy to say it, but an exciting 6-0 football game with 8 turnovers.
It's a good football game.
Did you see Boise State, by the way?
I did not.
Turned it over last night.
7 times?
Turned over 7 times in the first half. Can you imagine having that many possessions in the first half? Utah State couldn't help but score. Boise State.
I watched the baseball last night.
I did too. But there's this thing called Previous Channel where you can actually. There's also split screens. You can watch. There's sports stuff.
You're all over the map.
They should pay you. UPS should pay you to be able to do that. NFA will take the kickoff. Ball comes down. And the Wildcats, Caleb Parker, will bring it all the way out to the 30-yard line. And with 10 seconds remaining here in the first half, my guess is you will see a kneel.
I would tend to think that you were spot on that one,
You can't get into the squat position if you are going to.
It's there.
The junior voice of Game Day wants to know, would they try a Hail Mary? Now, let me explain to the junior voice of Game Day.
I do not think so.
The wind is in their face, so the quarterback probably could not throw the ball past midfield. So a Hail Mary is probably not the kind of play they're going to do. I'm guessing they're going to hand the ball off to Peyton Whitaker, or quarterback Shea McManaway will take a knee, and they'll head into the half 6-0. Yep, they're in the victory formation. They're going to do a little kneel, and that's going to take us to the end of the first half. Your score, NFA trailing here to Xavier. Xavier 6, NFA nothing. You're about to listen to the MJ Sullivan Automotive Halftime Show with the sports doctor Keith O'Brien. His first guest will be official Ken Danowitz. But before I do that, let me tell you that MJ Sullivan Hyundai, where no money down means no money down. You can lease a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport for no money down and only $279 a month for 36 months. They'll pay your first payment. They'll pay your upfront sales tax. They'll even pay your registration and dealer conveyance fees. So you pay $0 down and only $279 a month for a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport, only at MJ Sullivan Hyundai, corner of Broad and Coleman Streets in New London. If you want to see their entire inventory, go to mjsullivanauto.com.
It is a halftime house call with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, broadcasting here on Game Day and theday.com. We are live at Norwich Free Academy. The Xavier Falcons have a 6-0 lead over the Wildcats at halftime. Cruising around, I'll bring in my first guest. I'll bring in one of my only guests at this halftime. He is longtime. First of all, he's a man that wears many hats. I'll say this: he is husband, he is father, he is coach, he is ECC official, he is former player. Kenny Danowitz, how do you do it all?
You just have a schedule. You wake up, you go.
You're basically a machine.
You just go. Yeah,
you're a machine.
Yep. Don't think about it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
We got a good football game here so far. I know it's a little ugly. We've got 6 interceptions. We've got 7 turnovers with the fumble. I think we all kind of expected this early, but it's a good, tough football game. And I guess it's kind of hard when you have these coaching staffs, and some of these teams have been decimated with injury. When you've seen Jawan Johnson on the field, we don't see a lot of Xavier, but they're down to their third-string quarterback. I mean, how tough is it for a staff to call a game on the offensive end?
Well, I think when you have a young quarterback such as Shea, you have to put him in situations where he's going to be successful, and that's the first thing you need to do. Because I actually had I was fortunate to coach him back in youth football in Griswold, and he's a kid number one who listens.
Sure.
He may not be a Division I quarterback, a all-state quarterback, but he's going to listen. He's going to put you in good spots to be successful. But you also have to put him in good spots, so your team can be successful.
Yeah, I guess we all kind of expected this coming in. Both teams, we were talking to the Xavier coaching staff, last week. They're 2-3 coming in. They had bigger expectations. They're a little bit, decimated on the offensive side of the ball, a little bit challenged what they can do. And from the tone that I got was the defense was going to play well today. And one of the big things that I saw in the first half was I saw good tackling. I didn't see a lot of sloppiness on the defensive side of the ball. I saw good tackling by both teams, the Academy and by the Falcons.
Yeah, I think you got great secondary play too.
Sure.
Watching some of those guys on the sideline, they're making good breaks on the ball. They're not getting beat deep. They're keeping everything underneath them, because on a windy day like this, that's really what it comes down to, because that ball is going to float. So just great secondary play from both sides of the ball.
Sure. NFA coming out at the beginning of the year, with Juwan Johnson, a healthy Juwan Johnson, would have been the class of the act in the ACC. And when you take a look around the league this year, obviously there's some pleasant surprises. Obviously the Fitch Falcons look very, very good, very, very spirited, and very, very competitive with first-year coach Mike Ellis. And you outside of a loss last week to Killingly, a very good Killingly team, you got to like what you see out of Bacon Academy. They've got a very, very good quarterback in Kelly. So around the league right now, some good surprises.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see what happened last week with Killingly beating Bacon. We had the opportunity to officiate their game against Waterford, and it was like 35-0 first half. And they play old-school football. We don't see fullbacks anymore. We don't see tailbacks. We see boards with numbers and McDonald's and Burger King signs.
Sure.
And, they come out with two tights, and they come out with a fullback, and they point, and they say, I'm going to beat you all game until you stop me. And that's exactly what they're doing. So, I got to give Chad Neal a lot of credit up there. He works very hard. He doesn't have, Division I athletes that are just fed to him. He doesn't have the opportunity to encourage kids to come to his school.
Right.
And I look at Mike Ellis. He did the most important thing he needs to do with that program is make kids believe, and they're believing down there. I watched some of that first half last week, and is NFA more talented than them? Yes, but you know what? His kids believe more than the NFA kids, and I think that's why they won. Mike Ellis is a great coach. He's got his father with him. He's got a great staff, and he's going to do great things down there. So I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, and we did the first game that they won against East Lyme, and you could just see the confidence of the kids. And sometimes that's what it takes. It's just a little bit of confidence. And in football, when it's week in and week out, we always talk about momentum being fickle. Mm-hmm. Well, right now, Fitch has got a lot of momentum.
Right. Yep.
And then Bacon goes down there next week.
Right, and we got some other big games coming up in the ECC. We got NFA Ledger coming up in a couple of weeks.
That big game.
You also have Bacon Academy coming here.
That big game, November 6th.
You also have NFA on the road, I believe, next week up at Wyndham, who's another strong team. You look at a coach like Coach Prudden. He shows up with 25 players.
I don't know how he does it.
He shows up with 25 players, and actually, I think he still uses chalk on a chalkboard.
He does.
But you know what? It's what we talked about with Coach Ellis. His kids believe.
Yeah, sure.
Bottom line.
Yep. So it's good football in the ECC right now, and the division may not be as one-sided as we thought. There may be some surprises, but right now I think the league is pretty competitive.
Yeah. We talk about this all the time. Is the big games are no longer the big games, but a big game is I have Stonington Griswold next week. You know what? That's going to be a great competitive football game, and from an official's point of view, that's what we like of the close ones. The 50-7 blowouts are not entertaining.
Yeah, it is the MJ Sullivan halftime report on GameDayToday.com. Keith B. O'Brien, the sports doctor. A Saturday afternoon house call here at Norwich Free Academy. It is 6-0. It is homecoming. The Xavier Falcons, the visiting Falcons, with a lead here, and a real good fall, crisp day for football. We are talking ECC football and other things with Ken Danowitz. Ken, what's going on right now as far as the officials go? You guys in good shape? You guys got good numbers? You guys scrambling to put people on the field? How are we doing right now?
We had a good recruiting session over the winter. I think there was about 10 or 15 people who showed interest. Probably 4 or 5 hung around. We're not as stretched thin as we were last year. We don't have as many games in Rhode Island. So, I find us not being stretched as thin, because the bottom line is we want to put the best product on the field for these kids. It's just getting our guys in the right places.
How stressful is it for you, say, Wednesday or Thursday, or is it even earlier than that? How soon do you give the assignments, and how soon do the guys know where they're going on a weekend?
I try to give them a 2 weeks notice. So right now, we're set all the way up until next weekend. So tomorrow I got to get actually I'm out all the way up to the 24th and 25th. Sunday morning I'll get up, I'll get the 30, 31st done, and then right after that I'll get the 6th and 7th. But these last 2 weekends were not friendly with the weather.
No,
the lightning last week, and it was an
terrible
absolute mess. And we had 2 weeks of it. And so you wake up Saturday morning, or you're up Friday night to about 1, 2 in the morning with schedules. And what happens is I take care of the varsity schedule first, but then it impacts the sub-varsity. But the poor youth kids really suffer the most, because the ones who want to play Saturday Under the Lights can't play because we don't have any officials. And so that lightning did not help out anything last week. We had 8 games on Saturday between 8 and 3 o'clock. So all these people between 11 and 3, and these varsity schools that canceled Friday night, I told them, I said, you can't play till 7 o'clock because there are no officials.
Right.
I'd have to put you out there in case.
No, I mean, listen, I actually reffed the alleged high school game this week for Dave Cornish, so I was out. Yeah, I did double duty. But anyway, so I guess the weather, and, the big thing now too is, what people didn't, we talked about last week was the lightning rule. You cannot take the field until 30 minutes after you see a strike of lightning.
Right, so once the strike
rain
comes,
is not the problem.
No, so once the strike comes, it's 30 minutes, so you could be into that 29th minute, and that strike comes, and that's it, it's another 30 minutes. So, it's a tough call. When I was down there last Friday, NFA Fitch, I thought Mark Romano, the 2 head coaches, our white hat Scotty Banks, they all really took the safety of the kids first, the players first. But, we tried to hold off as long as we possibly could, and I think they did make the right decision. I mean, it's awful to have a 2-hour delay, but, we did go through the whole entire protocol.
Sure. It is not only homecoming here at NFA, it is homecoming up at Rensselaer Field as the Yukon Huskies trail 14-10 against the South Florida Bulls. And today, Ken, I know you like this kind of stuff. Today is an absolute monster in the worlds of scheduling for college football.
Yeah.
There are some big-time games today. The big game tonight, obviously, is number 1 Ohio State at home. It is a blackout at the Big Horseshoe. The Buckeyes take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State's had a pretty decent year so far. Some question marks about Ohio State, so Ohio State is getting into the part of the schedule where we're going to see just what they have. I mean, Indiana pushed them a few weeks ago, but they really haven't been challenged. I know in Virginia Tech in week 1, but I think the next 4 or 5 weeks we're really going to play out to see what some of these teams have. TCU in the top 5 has dodged a few bullets here as of late. You know what? You're going to see a big game today in Michigan. Michigan State. Is Michigan that good? Why has Michigan State slipped from 2 to 7? They haven't lost the game, Kenny.
Right, but I think Michigan State was the type of team who was supposed to come out a lot stronger than they did.
Sure.
They had too many close games where they should have been, 3-4 touchdowns up on teams, and they were not. So I think that's why they're in that predicament right now. And it's Michigan State. That was at 3:30.
Yeah.
You can't sleep on LSU in Florida. Was Florida really a legitimate team? Or have they played, lower SEC type teams? And that's another big one right there. Well, I like LSU.
Well, Florida comes in with their backup quarterback because their starting quarterback got stripped from doing peds.
Right.
But, I mean, at Florida right now, you like LSU in that game.
Yeah, I do.
You like the running back?
I do. Yeah.
I mean, we've seen a lot of good college running backs. And, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Fournette. The greatest college running back I ever saw was 2 guys that stand out. Obviously, Barry Sanders.
Right.
And, I would be a toss-up between Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson. I am old school. I love Reggie Bush as well.
Yeah. How about Marshall Faulk back in the day? San Diego State, right?
San Diego
Marshall
State.
Faulk,
He actually went to the Heisman ceremony 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Went to the Heisman. He was very good. Yeah. But he was the new breed of running back.
Right.
He was the hybrid.
Yeah.
This kid now, Fournette, looks like he is that old school 25, 30 carries a game.
Right.
There's some big games there. I mean, obviously, too, that Michigan State game, Jim Harbaugh goes to Michigan. They get, blanked in week 1 against Utah.
Right.
Isn't that bad of a team? And he's picked, 3 straight shutouts at Michigan?
Right.
Does the head coach changing the culture mean that big of a deal?
It does, because you know what? We'll go back to, it's not comparing apples to apples, but Mike Ellis has changed the culture at Fitch.
Yeah.
And all he has to do now is get those youth kids to believe and go fix that program down there. Then all of a sudden, because there's a few kids in Fitch that can play. There's athletes in Fitch. Oh, I mean, it just collectively between football and baseball and basketball, it's a very athletic town. You got to get the kids to believe, though.
Right, you've got youngsters. You've got a young son who's involved in every sport under the sun, from lacrosse to football to the chess and checkers. I mean, how important is it? for kids at that age. How old is Jonathan now?
He's 13. He'll be here next year.
I mean, how important is it when they see the youth programs and it fills up, upstream a little bit?
Well, it's important, but what I find funny is the younger ones don't go to games anymore. And I find it funny that, you don't see a lot of Friday night games with a lot of the kids there watching. But, I think once you get the kids there believing, it is entertaining for them to go because now they get to be part of it on a Friday or a Saturday. You got young kids here because I see some of my players walking around now and unfortunately not watching the game. But you know what? One day that's going to be them out there.
Right now is the big thing when Coach Emmett was at Fitch back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, you saw the kids there. You saw the kids down at the Paquonic Bridge Field, and the kids wanted to be part of that.
Right.
I mean, so, I guess that goes hand in hand.
We did the same thing in Montville. I graduated a long time ago, 1991.
Sure you
but,
did.
He brought his players down, and I mean, it was huge to go to that game on Friday night, you look at this crowd here, it's a great crowd for homecoming, but I just don't see a lot of the little youth kids out here watching the games. I mean, they really don't watch them, but just to be part of the atmosphere. But it's a totally different generation now. Parents are working, 60, 70 hours. They can't get their kids to games and so forth and so on. The question is, why do we play Friday night games on 6:30? I don't know. Make it 7 o'clock so at least families can go
get out of work and get there and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's cheap entertainment to go out.
He is Kenny Danowitz. He is a man of many hats here. He joins us on the MJ Sullivan Game Day Halftime Report. And I will take a shot at you right now about your Dallas Cowboys. Well, I've got you here and we're on record. But, I'll take it one step further. I mean, right now in the NFL, to me, there's 4 or 5 teams that really, really stand out as the homecoming parade is happening in front of us. Kenny, you are not going to be on the court, so you don't have to worry about being on the field. You're not.
I don't think we did this in Montville.
All right. So, so obviously you've got New England, you've got Green Bay. I mean, I really like the Arizona Cardinals. I know Denver is, one of those teams in the mix with the aging, Peyton Manning, but. Right now, who are some of those teams that stand out right now in the NFL as we're a little more than 25% away from the
I'm going to go with the Patriots because they got a chip on their shoulder because if you call me a cheater, whether I did or not, they were proven innocent. It is what it is. But, they call them a bunch of cheaters. It is what it is. But it's a great organization, and I think they're going to be back in it to win it. So I'm going to go on record right now that the Patriots can win the whole thing.
You're on record now. Do you like the fact that the Cowboys have made a switch of quarterback? Does it matter? I'm going to ask Keith. It doesn't really matter, does it?
No. Yeah, I don't know. Frustrating.
Yeah,
just get rid of Des Bryant. I don't care how good he is, Hall of Famer. He's too much of a prima donna for me.
Yeah,
Romo's going to be a Hall of Famer one day, but he's more of a fantasy football quarterback. When he can get his yards in the fourth quarter, when everyone's back in a dime package or a nickel, and you got to win the big game. Sorry. Not a big fan of him.
Listen, I agree.
It's not the Troy Aikman days anymore, and that's kind of when I stopped watching them. I mean, it's tough to watch games all the time for me, but it's not the Troy Aikman era at all. Not even close.
I don't think. I think those days are long gone. But I do think the 2 things that you need to be successful in the NFL, you need a good, solid head coach,
right?
And you need a good quarterback.
Yep.
If you have those two things, it's a recipe for success. I happen to think that Indianapolis is in a lot of trouble tomorrow night.
Correct. Yeah. Over real quick.
I certainly would not talk spreads on a family show, but that spread could be 30 tomorrow.
No, but I think if we're looking at later in the weeks in the NFL season, that game's not on TV. It's the reason why the Giants and 49ers played. I mean, it was a close game, but it really wasn't that great of a game to watch. But, if you get later in the weeks, they're going to take that game off because no one really wants to watch it.
All right, so where are you next week with your crew? Are you on the field next week?
We got Stonington Griswold next week. Again, that's going to be a great game. You got Griswold just took one on the chin against Ledger. They played him real tough. Stonington, I think, is looking for their first win or a second win. Again, A.J. Massengill's another great coach out there.
He's a good coach.
He's not going to have his kids quit. His kids won't quit on him. I've seen him from day one. And he's a great coach, and that's going to be a great game.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, you still love being on the field. You like getting out there. I know you take it very seriously.
Yeah, we had a game
last. Take care of yourself. You stay fit. I mean, you see it. These kids are all athletes now. We're not getting any younger.
No,
and
I can't keep up with them. Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the big thing about being an official is we talk about the coach putting the players in a position to see it. Is the officials have to be in a position to make the call.
Right, and last night we had a great game up in North Kingston. They played East Greenwich. I think one had one loss, one was undefeated. It came down the last 40 seconds of the game, and mentally you had to be in that game from start to finish because it came down to a halfback pass with 44 seconds left, and it was a track meet, a lot of throwing last night.
They just announced your name for runner-up for Homecoming King, so you better get down there in the field. Kenny, thanks for a few minutes. I'll see you on the field.
Always a pleasure. All right, thank you.
That is Kenny Danowitz. He is a Renaissance man. He is a guy I've known for a long time. Consider him a friend and a very, very class act on the field with the ECC officials. I will bring in my partner, Casey O'Neill, here in the next couple of seconds. We are live at NFA, game day, theday.com, and, we've got a 6-0 football game right now as the homecoming festivities are going on right now at halftime. And, Casey, we've seen it all in the first half. We've seen 7 turnovers, 6 interceptions. We've seen a blocked punt. We've seen good field position squandered. We've seen it all.
Yeah, the first half was a very exciting half, considering that we only saw 6 points and considering that we had the amount of turnovers we had. And the reason it was an exciting half is both teams, to our surprise, put the ball in the air a lot.
Yeah.
And threw a lot of interceptions. But both defenses, there's a lot of similarities in these teams. They are, in many respects, mirrors of each other. Both teams play very disciplined defense. We commented on the tackling in the first half. The tackling was exceptional. The NFA front four with the big brown boys really do a good job of occupying space, allows Peyton Whitaker and the fellow linebackers to really pursue. The cornerbacks we saw make tackles, intercepts on tips. What a great interception by Price. And on the other side of the ball, Xavier, I don't think they missed a tackle the entire first half. We did find out, we had commented, that one of the big performers for Xavier was Ben Costello, and we said we'd call his name a lot on defense. And then we didn't call his name at all. Yep. And that's because he switched jerseys to number 45. So the 45 who intercepted the pass for Xavier in the first half, who we did not know, who recovered the punt in the end zone, that's Ben Costello, one of their defensive stalwarts. So now in the second half, we'll be able to get that right. But I don't think Xavier missed a tackle. So, I mean, these defenses played exceptional. And as you pointed out, Keith, Xavier seemed very comfortable putting the ball in the air despite, the multitude of turnovers that they had.
Yeah, sure. They got the quarterback on the edge a little bit, and he made some plays, and it hurt them a little bit, and it helped them a little bit, and it was a very, very, very interesting first half of football. Casey, they're doing the homecoming ceremonies right now. Were you ever a homecoming king?
I was in the court.
You were.
I was in the court. I was never the king.
Yeah. I was a jester. I mean, you could see that, right? I mean, late for class at Wheeler High School, a court jester.
I can definitely see that.
I mean, anybody that calls himself a sports doctor has got to be a little bit of a clown.
Hey, you got to be able to back that up, too. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I can. I mean, I'm pretty good at sports trivia and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know about the TV trivia. I'm trying to stump you on that. I mean, you watch that Cowboys game last week? I will drill you on this for a few minutes here as we kill some time before we start the second half.
Yeah, I watched as much of the game as I could stomach.
I had sent Jimmy Unicorn a little text message. He did not respond. So that's a tough situation that Dallas is in right now.
I would argue that to find me any team in the NFL, let me take away their starting quarterback and their best offensive player.
Sure.
And I mean, take Brady and Gronkowski away from the Patriots and watch what happened.
Well, they go 11-5 with Matt Castle that year. They go 11-5 with Matt Castle.
They lost Brady. They didn't lose Brady and their best offensive player,
who at the time was Randy Moss.
Yeah. So let's see what would have happened had they lost Brady and Moss, and see how that's playing. Dallas is playing without its quarterback and one of the 5 best receivers in football. So and the trickle down effect that you saw with DeMarco Murray leaving was that they were going to rely on the offensive line and kind of a controlled running game and weapons galore. They don't have, the trickle down off of Des Bryant has really hurt that team. And
right.
Now the other thing that the Patriots have when you rely is they have maybe the best coach in the history of the NFL, if not one of the Mount Rushmore coaches of the NFL. So, there's that too. I'm nothing against Jason Garrett, but they were competitive in the games that they have played. They were competitive. And it's hard to win without those guys. So they'll have a bye. We'll see what happens when they come off the bye. I do think the change to away from Brandon Weeden was the right move, if only because Romo's coming back. You're really just trying to get a win or two until Romo comes back. So anything that can sort of change things up and jumpstart the team would be of benefit. But more importantly than any of that, Sports Doctor,
yes,
is tonight's football game.
The Ohio State game?
No!
Oh, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish taking on
Fighting Irish.
USC's a mess right now. I mean, Steve Sarkisian fired this week. Steve Sarkisian's got some bigger life problems than to worry about other than coaching football right now. Notre Dame playing under the lights in South Bend. Listen, the Irish played well last week. They played well.
So you got to ask yourself, first of all, what uniforms they wearing tonight?
Oh, boy, they're probably going to wear the old school green, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
The old Kelly green.
Under the lights with the shining helmet, absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be a big time. That game has kind of lost its luster a little bit. You remember the Matt Leinart game, the Reggie Bush game?
Absolutely.
Where Reggie Bush pushed Matt Leinart forward?
Listen, that goes to, I can tell you where
I was. That was the big...
I can tell you where I was when I watched it.
Sure.
One of the biggest Notre Dame fans in the world is high school compadre of mine, Stephen Keefe, former Whaler baseball player for New London, and there was we were at the assistant principal of Tile Middle School, former New London center and shortstop and pitcher Will Kleinfelter's house, and all of the guys got together. We played played cards, hung out, had a nice day,
sure,
and stayed up to watch that game. And Steve and I had chairs in the front of the room, and we were locked in. And we watched it right till the end, and the two of us went home very unhappy.
Yeah, who was the receiver that caught that big pass? Jarrett down on the sidelines. It was like
Very
4th
good.
and 9, and Jarrett tore off like 40 yards. And oh boy, I don't want to throw a brick through the TV set. But like I said, Notre Dame's got a chance here to make some noise down the stretch. And USC came into the season pre-ranked in the top 10. Cody Kessler, their star quarterback, and things have fallen apart for them a little bit. But I think USC will play tough. I think this is one of those games where
I don't like this game at all.
They will rally a little bit, and they will give the Irish everything they can handle. And did you see the uniforms, switching gears a little bit, that Ohio State's wearing tonight?
I didn't.
They're wearing all black. It's a blackout in the horseshoe.
I don't like that.
As they take on the Nittany Lions. It's a
no.
big-time college football game
I don't
tonight.
like that.
No doubt about that.
I don't like the all black.
LSU in Florida, Michigan State. I mean, Ohio State has got beautiful colors.
They do.
So why are they going all black?
Because they're doing what they're doing, the whole modern thing.
Jersey sales is what it is. Listen, we got about 20 seconds left to go as we had an extended halftime today due to homecoming. Casey, I'll give you the one stat that both coaches should think about in the locker room at halftime. We had 18 total passes in the first half with 6 picks.
That's
6 picks.
That is 1/3. 33%.
6 picks.
That means that 1 out of every 3 passes were turnovers for either squad. So we're ready for second half action. The third quarter of today's game is brought to you by Lawrence Memorial Hospital. Lawrence Memorial Hospital is the sponsor of the third period. NFA will kick off in today's second half. They will be kicking off from their own 40-yard line, going left to right into the wind. So that's important. NFA, trailing, will have the wind in the fourth quarter. So kicking off from their own 40 will be the Wildcats, and back to receive Owen Gonzalez for Xavier. Kicking off for NFA will be Jake Dolan, number 43. Dolan approaches the ball at the 40. High kick, short into the wind. Brought down by Anthony Karamanica of Xavier, and he gets it all the way out to the 40-yard line where Xavier will set up shop 1st and 10. And we saw Xavier with a little something at the end of they used both of their quarterbacks. Colin McCarthy, who was the starting quarterback, who came out, went back into the game as a slot man, and Will Levis did the majority of the throws, starting off this second half with the ball at their own 41-yard line. We see that same formation.
Yep.
We see Owen Gonzalez is split left. John Sadik is split right. Big Glenn Cunningham is in the backfield as your lone running back, and Will Levis is the quarterback. High snap, handled well by Levis, and wisely, he goes right down to a knee. What a great athletic play by Levis, taking the high snap one-handed, and rather than try to make something happen, especially with Big Jay Brown coming in on him, he just went to the knee, said, you know what, let's get to 2nd and 15.
That play had disaster written all over it.
Very heady
football by Levis.
McCarthy.
Look for Levis on the edge here. They like him throwing the ball out of the pocket, Casey, like they did in the first half.
4 wide. He rolls. He's looking for his guy McCarthy. Now he's looking for Gonzalez. Now he's going to keep it himself, and he's buried. Nice job that time by the NFA defense. Whitaker came up and put a helmet into him.
Levis had an open receiver on that play. He just couldn't quite seem to pull a trigger on it. Number 10 was streaking down the right side here, and he was uncovered. And if Levis could just pull a trigger on that, he probably could have picked up a first down.
Four picks will do that to you.
Yeah.
Ford Samity made the assistant on that play from the middle linebacker position. Levis, shotgun, rolls right, has time, in the flat. He was looking for Sadak, but couldn't find him. Incomplete, and just like that, we see pass play, bad snap, and 3 and out for Xavier. Nice job by the NFA defense, and they will get the ball here to start the third quarter. 10:47, 6-0 Xavier, but they're going to be punting with the wind.
Yeah, negative yardage on the 3 plays for Xavier with good field position to start the second half. They could not take advantage of that.
Karamanica gets the punt off, low line drive, and it bounces, fielded by one hand by Price. Price brought down quickly and with authority. Great job by Spencer McManus. Spencer McManus wraps up Price. Isaiah Price nowhere to go, and NFA not where they want to start their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, Price is one of those kids who looks to run east-west before he runs north-south to take advantage of his speed. You know, maybe that's one of those plays where you receive the ball, put your head down, and see if you can get 7 or 8 yards the tough way up the gut.
Let's see what Coach Jamal Davis came up with at halftime here. The NFA offense really struggling in the first half. He sends Shea McManaway back at quarterback, and Peyton Whitaker is the lone set. They're running the pistol. Handoff goes to Whitaker. Whitaker's got a hole. Whitaker gets through for a big gain up to the first down marker. Brought down by Glenn Cunningham, but a nice job on first down. That was all the offensive line.
Yeah, the big people up front, the Brown brothers. Moving people.
That's going to be a 7.5-yard gain. Brings up second and a short 2. Dijon Cummings now into the game at running back for NFA. McManaway from the pistol. McManaway fakes the handoff, throws it out in the flat. Ball is caught. Tackle broken. Bobby Smith on the reception. He'll have a first down, NFA. I think that ball was tipped at the line, but nice job by Bobby Smith to hold on and gets NFA its first down of the second half.
Yeah, short down and distance on second down. Easy pitch and catch. You know, I guess nothing's easy in the passing game for either team, but, you know, a nice first down there by the Wildcats, moving the ball out of their own territory, deep in their own territory.
Trips right for NFA. McManaway hands the ball off to Cummings. Cummings breaks a tackle. Cummings into the linebackers. Cummings second level. Cummings breaks another tackle. Cummings is in the open. Cummings down the sideline. 40, 30, 20, and finally out of bounds. Owen Gonzalez knocks him down, but a big run by Dijon Cummings gets NFA with their best crack at it all the way inside the 20-yard line of Xavier.
56-yard run by Dijon Cummings, breaking tackles, bounces it out to the left side. He has been the workhorse for the Wildcats, Casey, and we saw 2 things there. We saw a missed tackle by Xavier, and we saw some good heady running by Xavier Cummings.
We just said for the first time that Xavier had not missed a tackle in the first half. That time, Dijon Cummings broke tackles. Maybe not a missed tackle. Maybe he just broke those tackles.
Sure.
McManaway, direct snap, hands it off to Cummings again. And this time, that tackle was not broken. Spencer McManus wrapped up Cummings for a loss of 1. But what a big run by Cummings that time, breathing some life into this NFA offense. We have not seen a big play from that NFA offense yet. In fact, we've seen a lot of turnovers, but that was the first real big play we've seen today.
10 carries for 73 yards and a fumble on the day so far for Cummings. He is doing work back there for the academy. Pistol formation.
Handoff again to Cummings, and again, nothing there. Spencer McManus has taken residence in the backfield along that time with Nick Kvetikis, and NFA after that big run is going backwards. It's going to be 3rd and maybe 14.
Yeah, the NFA offensive line has been challenged definitely by that defensive front by Xavier. You know, and the offensive line is the strong point for the Wildcats.
3rd and 17, 8:35 remaining here in the third quarter.
Tough down and distance after that big run for 3rd down.
McManaway from the shotgun. Direct snap. Pressured. Steps up. He's going to run. Gets into the middle of the field and is brought down by Ben Costello. But he got inside, back almost to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 4th and 10 into the wind from the 24-yard line. I don't believe you can kick a field goal here. That's a 41-yard field goal into the wind. That's not going to happen. So NFA will go for it. 4th and 10 from the 18-yard line. McManaway, shotgun, snap, looking, time, throws into the end zone, ball's in the air, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Bobby Smith at the goal line, but you can't throw into that wind. He just couldn't get it out there.
Ball was underthrown, and the wind had a lot to do with it. And Smith, one-on-one on the outside. He's a big, tall kid. And McManaway looking for his wide receiver to make a play. So after a big run, by Cummings, NFA went backwards a little bit and put themselves in a tough spot, Casey, with 4th and 12 on that play.
You really have to have a strong arm to throw the ball downfield into this wind. It is just absolutely knocking everything down. So Xavier, after a 3-and-out on its first possession, will have the ball at their own 18-yard line. Will Levis in at quarterback. Cunningham is his lone set. McCarthy in motion. Handoff, Cunningham. Cunningham bounces off a tackle of Brown, gets out in the open, and then brought down in the secondary up by the 30-yard line by Parker, along with Price. But that's going to be a first down. Nice hard run by Cunningham, who was hit in the backfield by Javon Brown and bounced off and got a first down.
Yeah, Cunningham's second biggest run of the day. He peeled one off at 24 earlier. He picked up 13 on that one. North-south running by Big Glenn Cunningham.
Levis again hands to Cunningham. This time nothing there. Javon Brown. First one along with Ford Samity. Nothing there that time. 2nd and 10. Sun breaking through the clouds, making things a little warmer here on the NFA campus.
The NFA defense has not loosened up one bit up front, and Levis has been on the edge making some passes, but one thing is that NFA defensive line is not selling out. They're playing very, very tough football.
Up 6-0 Xavier off courtesy of a blocked punt in the end zone. Levis hands the ball off this time to Snyder, and Snyder's hit quickly by Samity and number 14, Peyton Whitaker. And not much there that time. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. Xavier does have the wind. Ball at the 32-yard line, their own 32. 3rd and 7.
Base defense up front for NFA, just going to hopefully get some pressure on the quarterback. With their front 3, front 4, Casey. And look for Levis to get on the edge here in this play.
Trips right for Xavier. Oh, and he barked and he got him. Nice job that time by Levis. He drew big Noah Brown off sides, and that's going to be a 5-yard encroachment penalty against NFA, and that will bring Xavier closer to the first down marker.
Oh, false start.
You know what?
Right guard.
I did not see him move at all.
Yeah, right guard flinched.
And NFA
2 for flinching.
2 for flinching. And NFA didn't react like it was against Xavier either, but it is a false start penalty against Xavier. That's going to back him up.
Tough down and distance.
3rd and 9. Ball at their own 25-yard line. Levis from the shotgun. Straight drop. Looking left for Gonzalez. Pressured. Throws and incomplete. Overthrew Owen Gonzalez. And the defense holds for NFA. Xavier is going to have to punt. But you can see the difference in the wind.
Yeah.
That ball was crisp and overthrown with the wind. Into the wind, virtually no chance to throw the football.
Yeah, Levis was a little late on that throw. If he could pull a trigger just a little bit sooner, he gives his receiver enough room and space to make a play on the sidelines. But by the time the ball got there, the ball and the receiver both drifted out of bounds, Casey.
Caleb Parker and Isaiah Price stand at their own 40-yard line, awaiting Karamanica's punt. Punt is off, low, end over end, bounces at the 40, skips past Price, and goes out of bounds at the 27-yard line. So, nice job. Even though he had the wind, he hits a low line end over end kick that just bounced right past Isaiah Price, and NFA will have its next possession at its own 27-yard line with 6 minutes remaining. NFA trails Xavier 6-0.
Yeah, right now NFA just trying to look to build off that run they had from Cummings in the last drive, and they need positive yardage. NFA's got to have to understand they're down 6-0 right now.
New quarterback in the game for NFA. That was Tyler Briggs. He throws a screen to Cummings, and Cummings is going to have a first down and more. Still on his feet. What a run by Dijon Cummings. Not to be denied.
17-yard pickup on the play by Cummings as he made the catch and broke a couple tackles along the way.
New quarterback in the game for NFA, sophomore Tyler Briggs. He's a big kid for a sophomore. We'll find out if he's going to try to have any more success throwing the ball into the wind, but he came in through a nice little screen pass to Cummings, and Cummings did all the rest. 1st and 10 NFA from their own 44-yard line. Briggs, snap. Cummings with the handoff. Not much there that time. Nice job by the interior of the Xavier line. Costello along with Karamanica.
You know, and again, without the Juwan Johnson in there, there is absolutely no threat of the quarterback keeping the ball on the read option. So, you know, what Xavier does, they just pinch down on the running back, pinch down on the tailback. And, you know, you're going to have to see, Casey, one of these NFA quarterbacks tuck the ball and run with it.
2nd and 10, Tyler Briggs just into the game, the sophomore. Into the game, replacing Shea McManaway, a different sophomore. So a couple of sophomore quarterbacks today for NFA. First time throwing for Briggs. Oh, what good arm strength by Briggs. Pass is complete at the 30-yard line.
Griffin Gooden on the reception.
And what a nice throw by Tyler Briggs through the wind. That was some arm strength right there.
Yeah, nice pitch and catch. Senior flanker wide receiver Griffin Gooden coming up big.
1st and 10 NFA with the ball at the Xavier 29-yard line. Tyler Briggs with 2 for 2 today, but that was his first real chance to throw the ball downfield. Nice strong arm that time by the sophomore. Briggs from the shotgun has Cummings as his set. Hands the ball off to Cummings. Cummings driven to the ground pretty quickly. Parker Rowley in from his linebacker spot to knock down Cummings for no gain.
You know, Griffin Gooden has been with this program now for 4 years, and he's one of those kids in this kind of a spread offense, and they run the ball predominantly. His number's not called often, but when it's called, he makes plays.
Yeah, he's a senior leader, and that's what teams rely on when their playmakers are hurt. You have to become a playmaker, and Griffin Gooden did that earlier. 4 minutes here in the third period. Briggs, hands off to Cummings. Nothing there again. Cummings has had very difficult times running against Nick Kavetikis and Ben Costello, both coming off the pile that time along with Karamanica, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 10, ball at the Xavier 30-yard line. Let's see Tyler Briggs put it in the air again. So far, 2 for 2 with one very impressive connection to Gooden.
14 carries for Cummings.
Briggs, straight drop, throws to on the sideline, and it's caught! What a catch by Griffin Gooden inside the 5. How did he make that catch over Anthony Bizzio?
Back-to-back 25-yard pass receptions by senior captain Griffin Gooden. Again, big-time plays, big-time playmakers, senior leadership on the field for the Wildcats.
Anthony Bizzio had great coverage. Great coverage. Briggs threw it up, and Gooden just somehow took it away. 1st and goal. NFA inside the 5.
Tyler Briggs on this drive, 3 for 3 for 67 yards.
Briggs to Cummings. Cummings tries to get outside and he can't break the tackle of Ben Costello. Ben Costello, the senior line, the big linebacker for Xavier, just wouldn't allow him any extra room.
I mean, do you think that the switch of quarterback right here to Tyler Briggs has caught Xavier off guard a little bit, Case?
Yeah, because one, McManaway showed that he really wasn't going to keep it on read option, and 2, McManaway struggled to throw the ball down the field with this win. Briggs has made 2 throws that I don't think Xavier thought that NFA could do. Briggs throws it up in the corner, and it's caught again by Gooden, but not into the goal line. But Griffin Gooden is going up and getting everything thrown his way. It is going to bring up 3rd down and 4 from the 4-yard line, and we have a timeout. NFA wants to talk it over because basically there's 2 cracks at a touchdown.
Yeah, 4 for 70 yards for sophomore quarterback Tyler Briggs. Couple of big pass plays, 25 yards apiece to Griffin Gooden have got NFA knocking on the door of a touchdown.
2:15 remaining here in the third period. The third period is brought to you by Lawrence Memorial Hospital. Now, Lawrence Memorial has two ways for you to get expert non-emergency care with less cost and less waiting than a visit to the emergency room. Now, to L&M, their two walk-in locations on Howard Street in New London and the Stop and Shop Plaza in Stonington, they offer you more convenience and more services. So, no appointment is even necessary. From rashes to gashes and routine physicals too, at Lawrence Memorial, they are there for you. Coming soon, a new walk-in location opens in Waterford. So with 2:15 remaining here in period number 3, sophomore Tyler Briggs has come in at quarterback for NFA, completed 3 passes to Griffin Gooden, 1 to Dijon Cummings, and suddenly, after having really nothing going in the first half, the NFA Wildcats have their best scoring opportunity of the game, 3rd and 2, with the ball on the Xavier 2-yard line, trailing 6-0. Briggs has Samity and Cummings in the backfield. Hand off to Cummings. Cummings straight lead. Cummings will be denied. Cummings will be denied right at the 1-yard line. Ben Costello and Spencer McManus.
Boy, we've called McManus' name all day long on the defensive side of the ball. Stepping up, making a big play. NFA definitely 4-down territory here. Trying to cash in and get 6.
Give credit to Alex Bates that time. The junior tackle disrupted things. 4th down. NFA, they're going to give it to Cummings again. Cummings this time dives for the end zone. Ball is loose. And Xavier has recovered it.
Touchdown.
But they're going to say he broke the plane. Touchdown Wildcats.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you said it. You said
Touchdown
it.
on the field. Touchdown on the field.
All right, let's describe to you what just happened.
Wow.
On 4th and 2, NFA hands to Dijon Cummings. He lunges for the goal line. As the ball breaks the plane of the goal line, he fumbles the ball as he comes down to the turf. Xavier recovered it and thought they had stopped them on 4th down, but the officials said the ball broke the plane. Touchdown Wildcats. We're tied at 6.
Cummings has 19 carries, 14 for 3 yards or less, but that's the one that counts right there. 6 points Wildcats.
Mokentine for the extra point, and it's blocked! And it's blocked! Owen Gonzalez!
Wow.
Owen Gonzalez off the corner, and it's 6-6.
We got a football game here, Casey O'Neill.
Oh, with 1:33 remaining, what excitement. We have had some wild stuff going on today.
Oh boy.
Man.
What a game.
This is the craziest 6-6 game.
Isn't this something? We got people from Xavier up here in the booth laughing. They're scratching their heads. No, he's not scratching his head. He's got a hat on.
I've seen 6-6 games like this in like driving hurricane rainstorms. But I've never seen a 6-6 game played on normal field conditions like this. We've seen like 7 interceptions, a couple of fumbles, a blocked punt, 2 blocked extra points.
Yeah.
We've seen both teams go to two quarterbacks that didn't start the game.
Yeah.
3 of them which are sophomores.
All a true story.
Now the quarterback that started the game for Xavier is playing flanker. The quarterback that started the game for NFA is on the sideline.
What's next to Waterboy?
The kid that came in for NFA is throwing the ball like Brett Favre. He's cutting through the wind like it's not even there.
What a great what a fun game.
Oh, absolutely.
Homecoming at NFA.
Goal line stands and big plays.
Beautiful.
Oh, what a lot of fun.
Look at the foliage, too, Casey. I mean, look at this place. It's great.
Oh, it's a good day.
Oh, boy. And his life on the NFA bench. Look at these guys. These kids are fired up.
Dolan kicks off for NFA into the wind, and that's a tough task. The ball bounces out of bounds at the 37-yard line of Xavier. Really, really tough. But with 1:32 remaining in the game, tied at 6, when we switch over to the 4th quarter, NFA is going to have the wind.
Yeah, they're going to have the wind to
Xavier
get back.
is going to have to go into that wind.
Yeah, I mean, junior voice of game day is signaling flag, which we know. We got it. He is on top of it.
Junior voice of game day saw the
doing
laundry.
all right.
Saw the laundry come on the turf. That's because the ball bounced out of bounds on the kickoff.
He's big time today, Casey. He's got a headset on.
He does have a headset on, so he can hear us.
He can talk too. They can't hear you. So if you say something, I can hear it, but the people on the airways can't.
That's okay. This is the longest 3 hours. This is the only 3 hours of the entire day that he doesn't talk.
Yeah, he's talking now. You've opened up Pandora's box. As it's 1:32 left to go in the 3rd quarter here at Norwich Free Academy. Xavier with the ball.
Will Levis, the sophomore quarterback, hands the ball off to Cunningham. Cunningham trying to get into the 2nd level but can't quite get there. Nice job wrapped up by NFA, that time number 34, R.J. Darby, along with Noah Brown on the stop, is going to bring up 2nd and 5.
6 yards on the play by Cunningham, and that was his first time really cracking through the center of the NFA defensive line all game long. A lot of his yards have come on the edge. That's a good, tough run that time by Cunningham.
McGillis in motion for Xavier, sets up under the shop. Handoff again goes to Cunningham and wrestled to the ground pretty quickly that time. Noah Brown on the tackle for NFA. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3. And this is going to be Xavier's last chance with the win. So be interesting to see if they try to throw something downfield while they still have that wind.
13 carries unofficially for Cunningham for 48 yards. So some tough running up there by big boy number 6.
McGillis wide right, McCarthy split left. Cunningham in the backfield. Handoff to Cunningham. Cunningham has the first down and more. Cunningham crosses midfield. Cunningham all the way into NFA territory to the 40-yard line. First down, Glenn Cunningham.
Yeah, big hole that time produced by the Xavier offensive line off the left side. Cunningham saw it, put his head down, rumbled ahead, and got 13 yards on the play. Cunningham getting a little more productive here in the third quarter as the game rolls along.
Nate Snyder now in the backfield for Xavier. They keep Colin McCarthy split left and McGillis split right. Levis motions for McCarthy to come across the field. He does. Levis, hand off to Snyder, and nothing there. Noah Brown, Javon Brown, Peyton Whitaker. Stop it right at the 40-yard line, and that's going to bring us to the end of the third period. Your score, NFA 6, Xavier 6. Everyone's putting the number 4 in the air because it's time for the fourth quarter here at NFA. And the fourth quarter is brought to you today on game day by the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner. So, MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, thank you very much. You are the sponsor of the fourth quarter here on game day. And the doctor, Keith O'Brien, fourth quarter, tied at 6. NFA on defense, but they now have the wind. Xavier looking like they got a little something going here with the running game. But at this point, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, moving the ball pretty well. I guess I would keep the ball on the ground right now if I was Xavier. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, the game was marred in the first half by interceptions left and right. You know, the big thing right now moving forward is NFA's passing game came alive in the third quarter, Casey. Big switcher quarterback. You know, if you're Xavier right now, you're not in any kind of trouble. It's a tie game. You're moving the ball on the ground right now, so keep riding the horse.
Noah Brown and Javon Brown are large human beings.
Oh, Russ Brown's father, he's over to our left over here. He's a good friend of mine. And I don't know where this kid came from.
They are big.
Russ is not a very big guy.
They are large individuals
yes.
on that NFA line, both offensive and defense. All right, 2nd and 10. Going into the wind now, left to right is Xavier. Levis motions for McCarthy to come in motion out of the shotgun. Snap, Levis. Hands the ball to Cunningham, and nothing there. Peyton Whitaker drags him down after a gain of a half yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and long, and the first time now that Xavier will have to throw that ball into the wind.
Yeah, tough down and distance right here now if you're the Falcons. And just listen, play a heads-up defense and look for NFA to just rely on their front 4 to get pressure on the quarterback, Casey. And again, I talked about this all game long. Levis looks more comfortable throwing when he's on his horse a little bit, on the edge.
Noah Brown, Javon Brown, and Jake Dolan have been anchoring that 3-4 of NFA. 3rd and 7 for Xavier. Levis from the shot, in the flat, has McCarthy. McCarthy gets the ball, but is immediately brought down by Darby and the rest of the secondary of NFA. Now, that was Colin McCarthy, who started the game at quarterback for Xavier, came off with an injured ankle, and he was very clear. As soon as he caught the ball, he really did not have a lot of elusiveness, clutch reception, but couldn't turn it up.
At 4-down territory here for the Falcons. 4th down and 2, taking a shot at the NFA 31.
4th and 2, 10, just under 11 minutes, tied at 6.
Big down for the NFA defense, Casey.
Levis is going to run the shotgun. He's going to have 4 wide. Trips right, and Gonzalez is the lone receiver left. Cunningham in the backfield. Levis, straight drop, time, and it's batted down at the line, incomplete. Turnover on downs. Noah Brown got a hand on it that time. And with 10:37 remaining here in the fourth quarter, NFA takes over from their own 35-yard line, 6-6.
Yeah, big man Noah Brown been doing work all day up front, and he does not come off the field. He goes double duties. And again, we've talked about the size of these people up front all day long. Noah Brown, Javon Brown, just very, very big individuals they handle. Noah Brown's getting a lot of looks, too.
Add Antonio Barros to the mix, and you've got three really, really big guys. You've got to imagine he's going to get a lot of looks. He's a mountain. If I was the basketball coach, they'd both be playing forward.
Sure.
Briggs stays in the game, hands off to Peyton Whitaker. Whitaker, nice gain of 5 on first down. Costello in on every tackle, that time along with Bizzio. You can call McManus's number and or Costello's number on almost every play, and that time Spencer McManus coming up a little gimpy. You can't afford to lose him. He is their most reliable tackler at inside linebacker.
10th carry unofficially and 28 yards for Peyton Whitaker as he has become the second half of the tandem for the NFA running team along with Dejon Cummings. And, NFA's we got an injured Falcon on the field right here now. But NFA's in good position right now, Casey. Down in distance, 2nd down and 5 from the 36-yard line here. Like to get the ball rolling downfield and get close for another score.
Yeah, that injured Falcon was the aforementioned, as I said, Spencer McManus, their leading tackler at inside linebacker, whose number and name we've called all day. So into the game, Joe Galati goes into the game to replace McManus. But that is a big loss on the defense because he is the leader at the inside linebacker spot. Both of these teams run 3-4s. 2nd and 5 Wildcats. Briggs pitches out to Cummings. Cummings does not get the block he needs on the outside and is going to be brought down after virtually no gain. Nice pursuit at that time by Xavier. Coming out of it was Parker Rowley, the linebacker slash safety, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 for NFA.
Good down in distance on 2nd down, not so good on 3rd down. Tough running on the outside for the Wildcats. It's very interesting here what kind of play call they're going to have. I would look for Briggs to throw the ball. Why not?
The chess match between the NFA wide receivers and the Xavier defensive backs, Xavier has been fighting off blocks very well. Briggs throws the ball, and it's intercepted! Intercepted by Owen Gonzalez. Gonzalez is being chased and brought down at the inside NFA's territory. Owen Gonzalez with the pick. Nice job by Gonzalez that time. And if it wasn't for Marquise Ward, he had a lot of room.
Yeah, Briggs going to the well one too many times, looking for Griffin Gooden on the outside. Defender read his eyes and picked the ball off. A tough play there. That's the, 4th pick by NFA quarterbacks today.
9:11 remaining here in the ball game. We're tied at 6. Ball sits at the NFA 42-yard line. 1st and 10, going left to right. Xavier. Levis from the shotgun. He's got Snyder in the backfield. Levis is going to throw. Throws a quick slant to McCarthy. Incomplete. Done a nice job on the defense that time. NFA's Isaiah Price had good inside coverage. They were trying that quick slant.
I didn't think I'd ever say, in a game with 8 turnovers, be an exciting football game. This is an exciting high school football game. There's been 7 interceptions and a fumble.
It's as goofy as they come, I can say that.
Sure.
Levis from the shotgun. This time hands off to Snyder. Snyder hit immediately.
Big stop.
And driven to the ground by Ford Samity, the captain middle linebacker of the Wildcats. Nicely done. Shot the gap. Snyder had no chance. 3rd and long. And we have already seen it is difficult to throw into this wind that Xavier now has for the remainder of the 4th quarter.
Tough down and distance once again here for the Falcons on 3rd down. NFA is just not going to bring extra pressure. They're going to rely on that front 3 to handle that offensive line. And that's a luxury for a defensive secondary, Casey. When you can just, bring pressure and not bring extra people, you get the front 3 rushing the passer and putting heat on a quarterback, that is a luxury for a defense.
Timeout on the field on 3rd and 11 from the Xavier Falcons. Now we want to remind you that the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut is the region's leading STEM-themed school. The nationally recognized magnet program prepares students to succeed not just during their 4 years of school, but for a future beyond the magnet school. What is STEM, you ask? Well, that's science, technology, engineering, or math. And you can transform your passion for these things to reality at STMHS. They are now accepting applications for next school year. Learn more and apply online at nlstmhs.org. 3rd and 11 for Xavier. Ball rests at the 44-yard line. Levis from the shotgun has time. Throws to McCarthy. McCarthy has the first down and more. Nice job by Colin McCarthy. Nice job, nice throw. No pressure that time from the NFA front line, and great job by Levis to McCarthy.
Yeah, 15 yards on the gain from McCarthy. 2 catches for 21 yards for the guy that actually started at quarterback for the Falcons.
Karamanica split left, and Sadik split right for Xavier. Ball at the NFA 30. Levis gives to Cunningham. Cunningham on a counter. Cunningham has room. Cunningham breaks a tackle, and close to a first down marker is Glenn Cunningham. Caleb Parker saved the touchdown, but it's going to be a first down for Cunningham.
16 carries on the day for Cunningham, 10 yards, big run up the gut against this NFA defense.
Levis to Cunningham again. Cunningham breaks a tackle, hurdles over Noah Brown inside the 10 to close to the 5-yard line. Xavier trying to pick up the pace here.
Yeah, Xavier's playing offense with a sense of urgency. And I think that the defensive line for NFA might be getting a little tired at this point, Casey. Those guys go both ways. They play offense and defense. NFA's defensive line looks a little gassed right now.
Under 8 minutes to go. 2nd and 5. Cunningham will get another crack at it. Cunningham up the middle, but not quite enough. That time the interior of the NFA line stepped up. Javon Brown and Noah Brown, the big boys, up the middle. And, of course, Peyton Whitaker and Samity from their linebacker spots. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. 7:27 remaining here in the ball game.
They got a thick 4-down territory here for the Falcons as they try and break this 6-6 tie.
Xavier 6, NFA 6. The sports doctor says 2 downs to get 4 yards. Let's find out what happens on 3rd down. McCarthy in motion. Levis from the shotgun. Levis fakes the handoff to Cunningham. Rolls left. Throws into the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Karamanica, but just overthrew him. And a sigh, a collective sigh from the NFA sidelines, because when he faked the handoff to Costello, there was some room, but Levis flipped it out there, and looks like we may have a flag on the play.
Yeah, sure. All right, that's holding against NFA's defense. That's trouble.
That's going to make it...
The illegal formation, only 6 guys on the line of scrimmage that time for Xavier.
Now that's going to back him up to make it 3rd and 7.
Sure.
And it's a little bit more difficult. And now I'm not so sure it is 4-down territory. We're going to have to see. The way the Xavier defense has been playing, though, I think you're right. I think they will probably take 2 cracks at it here. 7 minutes remaining in the ball game. 6-6. You're listening to Game Day. Live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, the junior voice of Game Day, along with the rest of the Game Day staff on a blustery, but I'd call this a football Saturday. Would you not call this a football Saturday?
It does feel like a football Saturday, especially in New England. You get the leaves look great. The campus is beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a good spot for a high school football game. You can see the scoreboard.
Yes.
You are perched high above everybody else in the stadium.
Yeah, the drive here today was gorgeous.
Sure.
I mean, absolutely beautiful drive here today. It's a beautiful area, driving up Route 2. And the
soccer team win?
The soccer team, I don't know. We had to leave.
All right.
We were up 2-0. Levis rolls left on 3rd down. Levis going to keep it himself. Heading for the end zone, and is he going to get there? Let's see the signal. No. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the half-yard line.
Wow.
Will Levis thought he had a touchdown, but he went out at the half-yard line, and that's going to make it 4th and half a yard. The second time Xavier has faced this in this exact spot in the first quarter.
Wow.
The NFA defense held.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can go to the well one more time. I mean, I'd be shocked here if Xavier does not go for this. You got to go for it, Casey.
6-6, 6:49 remaining in the ball game. Xavier has it. Oh, you know what? He got a
first down.
I did not think they.
Oh, okay.
Now it's 1st and goal. That's a whole different thing. Hand off to Costello, and he is going to be in the end zone for a Xavier touchdown. Glenn Cunningham. Glenn Cunningham, with 6:43 remaining in the ball game, will break the tie and give Xavier a 12-6 lead.
18th carry on the day for Cunningham, and a short yardage distance pays off. as he punches it in from 6, and credit that Xavier offensive line that time, Casey. They opened a big hole on the right side of the NFA defense.
Reynolds in for the extra point. We haven't seen a successful one yet. This time it is up, it is through, and it is no good. We still haven't seen a successful extra point. 6:43 remaining in this ball game. Xavier 12, NFA 6, but plenty of time and the wind.
Yeah, we played 3.5 quarters of football, and that's the first offensive touchdown by Xavier today. Their other one came on a blocked punt by NFA as we closed the first half. You know, and NFA stuck with it. They stuck with it.
And
we got an injured player down there.
That is not good news. That is
Javon
Brown, the captain of the offense and defensive lines. But that looks to me more like a
cramp
to me.
Yeah, he's been on the field a long time.
Yeah, that's the telltale cramp. That's when when you're stretching him out down there. But he's going to have to come off for the kickoff anyway. 6:43 remaining here, 12-6. Xavier has just taken the lead on a 1-yard touchdown run from junior Glenn Cunningham. NFA on a windy and blustery day will have the wind with 6:43 remaining here in the ball game. We have seen a little bit of everything today.
No, sure. We've seen 7, 8 turnovers. We've seen a blocked punt for a touchdown. We've seen a sophomore quarterback come off the bench for NFA and spark his offense a little bit with a couple of big pass plays. Who knows what this last 6.5 or 6:43 has in store here.
Lawrence Memorial Hospitals, I'm bringing that up as Javon Brown limps off the field.
Yeah, he's all right. He's just cramped up.
Has 2 ways to get you expert non-emergency care with less cost and less waiting than a visit to a traditional emergency room. At L&M, their 2 walk-in locations on Howard Street in New London and the Stop and Shop Plaza in Stonington offer you more convenience and more services, and no appointment is necessary. From rashes to gashes and routine physicals too at L&M. They're here for you. Coming soon, their new walk-in location in Waterford. From his own 40-yard line, Reynolds wants to kick it off, but the ball falls off the tee because it's windy. That's right, it's windy. If we haven't told you already,
blustery.
It's windy.
The blustery was the term you used earlier.
Blustery. I think when the sun's out, it's blustery. When the sun's in, it's just flat out windy.
Sure.
Reynolds approaches the ball. High spinning kick. Ward. Marquise will take the ball and bring it up to the 40-yard line. Marquise Ward for NFA to the 40, and NFA will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. 6:37 remaining here in the first half. Xavier 12, NFA 6. Buckle in.
Yeah, gut check time right now for the Wildcats is that McManaway coming back in at quarterback, it looks like right now for the Cats. It is definitely, I'm sorry, Briggs is still in there. McManaway split out.
No. Marquise Ward is split out left.
There you go.
McManaway is on the sidelines. Briggs is your quarterback. Cummings is your running back. Briggs runs option. Briggs keeps. Briggs gets to the outside. Briggs has a first down. What a nice run on first down by Tyler Briggs running the option.
Yeah, first time NFA showed the option look on offense all game long, and Briggs saw a crack and took it up there. NFA is going to have to rely on that big offensive line here, Casey, in the last 6 minutes of this game.
They're going to mark him just short of the first down. He's going to bring up 2nd and, let's call it a short 2. Briggs will run out of the pistol. Cummings is his lone set. Trips left for the Wildcats. Briggs gets the snap. Option right. This time he pitches it to Cummings. And Cummings has nowhere to go. First person on the spot was Anthony Karamanica. And he gave Cummings no room and drilled him, and that is the wrong direction. We're going to go all the way back to 3rd and 10.
Yeah, tough down and distance now here for the Wildcats as they're at 2nd and 3 down to 3rd and 10.
Loss of 7, and that's poor Cummings. It's not his fault.
No, that was the inexperience at quarterback on the pitch that time by Briggs.
Look for Griffin Gooden. He's D'd up by Owen Gonzalez. Briggs looking for Gooden. Gonzalez is there, and it's intercepted by Gonzalez. Owen Gonzalez with his 2nd interception of the ball game. Stepped in front of Griffin Gooden and intercepts, and Xavier will have the ball in NFA territory with 5 minutes and 14 seconds remaining.
Yeah, double covered on the play, corner and safety help over the top. Gooden had no chance. The ball was slightly underthrown, and it has been a tough day for these NFA people throwing the football.
We said earlier Owen Gonzalez had him on the coverage, and Gonzalez stepped in front. That's the second time today.
6th NFA turnover, Casey. 5 interceptions and 1 fumble. 9th turnover for the game.
Will Levis will have Cunningham in the backfield. McCarthy split left. Handoff goes to Cunningham. Cunningham being pursued. Cunningham breaks a tackle to the outside, and down to the 39-yard line goes Glenn Cunningham. Nice run on first down will bring up a 2nd and 4.
NFA was going to have to go to the well here. Going to have to go to their defense and their defensive front. And NFA's defense right now is starting to tire just a wee bit. You can see the defenders, their hands on their hips. They fought hard all game long. Fellas, you got 5 minutes left to go.
Levis again to Cunningham. Cunningham cuts up inside. Brought down the play by Whitaker along with Parker. Bring up 3rd and 3. 5 minutes remaining here in the ball game. Xavier 12, NFA 6. Now this is a huge third down for the Wildcat defense.
Cunningham's 21st carry of the game. He's doing work all game long, and NFA needs this stop bad. They got to get their defense off the field and get going on the offensive end.
Except their offensive line is their defensive line.
Yeah, this is true.
McCarthy in motion. Levis fakes the snap, rolls right. Levis looking for McCarthy, finds McCarthy. McCarthy will have a first down at the 35-yard line. That combination, Will Levis, who did not start the game at quarterback, to Colin McCarthy, who did start the game at quarterback.
They got 5 for 14 so far in a day for Will Levis with 3 picks, but right there making a play and picking up the first down for Xavier. And more importantly, the clock becomes the Falcons' ally, Casey, as we go around 4.5 minutes to go.
Handoff. Cunningham cuts inside, breaks a tackle. Cunningham still on his feet into the NFA secondary and down inside the 25 to the 23 is Glenn Cunningham. And the fatigue of the NFA defense starting to show. He's getting through that defensive line a little more regularly now.
Yeah, and Xavier is picking up the pace here offensively. They're going with a real quick style of offense, and you said wearing down the Wildcats.
Cunningham comes off, Snyder goes in. Can't say enough about the toughness of Colin McCarthy, the starting quarterback today of Xavier, who came off the field early with an ankle injury and has come back into the game at quarterback and is now playing flanker. What a job by McCarthy. Levis hands off to Snyder. Snyder breaks through. Snyder in the open. Snyder fighting for yardage. Down inside the 5.
Yeah, that's a sign of a tired defense right there. Right up the gut goes Snyder, picking up 15 yards on the play, Casey. And right now, Xavier looking to put a dagger into the hearts of the Wildcats.
Nate Snyder with a fantastic and tough run inside the 5 of NFA. 1st and goal. Falcons with the ball at the 4-yard line. You expect to see a heavy dose of Glenn Cunningham right here. Cunningham, the junior running back, already with 1 touchdown. Hand off to Cunningham, straight up the middle. Cunningham is in the end zone for a Falcon touchdown.
24th carry and 2nd touchdown of the day for Cunningham. He finds pay dirt for the Xavier Falcons.
And that'll be 18-6 now. Xavier with a 2-touchdown lead extends the lead with 3:35 remaining here in the ball game.
Yeah, Casey, you're dealing with a dead tired NFA defense right now. We can see the defensive line is just out of gas at this point in the game.
That line has played both ways. The Browns, the anchors of the NFA offensive and defensive line, but just a lot of plays out there today.
Yeah, the time of possession in the second half has certainly favored Xavier. They have, outside of that one big pass play drive where NFA had, Xavier's dominated with time of possession.
Xavier is going to go for 2. They send John Sadek out wide to the right, and Parker Rowley is in the slot right. Cunningham is the lone set, and we're going to get a whistle. Officials saying delay of game against Xavier. We'll see if they still elect to go for it. I'm going to say they still go for the 2-point conversion.
Sure, yeah.
Considering the wind the way it is, they're probably better off running an offensive set. That's going to bring the ball backwards a wee bit. So instead of the ball at the 3 for an extra point, the ball will be moved back to the 8. Same formation, though. Cunningham is the lone set. Levis is in the shotgun. Levis rolls right. Levis keeping it himself. Levis throws into the end zone. Incomplete. Threw it behind the intended target, Jared Perry. And there's a penalty marker on the play. We'll see what the official's call on that one. Though you can hear the wind whistling through your headsets.
Sure.
That's looks like an illegal man downfield, but the ball declined by NFA. So with 3:35 remaining here in the ball game, Xavier has extended its lead to 18-6 over the home Wildcats. The NFA Wildcats will have to score, get the ball back, and score again if they want to avoid slipping to 4-2 on the season.
Yeah, coaching staff for Xavier coming into this game all week long has talked about using this game, against one of the bigger teams in the state as kind of a springboard for the rest of their season, the second half of their season. Certainly, if they come out of this at 3-3, it's better than coming out at 2-4. And injuries bar not, this is still a double L win for Xavier. And on the road, it's the kids showed some character here for Xavier. There's a lot of football left, 3.5 minutes, but this is going to be a very, very difficult hill to climb for NFA in the last couple of minutes here at NFA.
Doesn't get any easier. NFA still has games with Ledyard and Bacon Academy, two of the top teams in the conference. So they're going to get healthier. They're going to get some guys back in the coming weeks, but they are certainly did not think that this game today was going to be played with the players on both sides of the ball that they had out there today. So both teams overcoming injuries to field teams today, and right now Xavier with an 18-6 lead, 3:35 remaining here in the ball game. Dominic Reynolds with the ball at his own 40. Kicks the ball high. Marquise Ward, nope, he gives it up to Parker. Parker takes the ball at the 35, and that's where NFA will set up shop, 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. 3:30 remaining here in the ball game.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those second halves where if you looked at the unofficial time of possession, I would say that Xavier's, at least 2-1 over NFA. They've controlled the tempo on the ground. They've a lot of running plays. And the offensive line just seemed to wear down NFA a little bit up front. But let's see if NFA can muster something up here in the last 3.5 minutes to at least get a score and get down by 1 as far as going in moving forward.
Briggs, still the quarterback. Tyler Briggs for NFA. Whitaker is in the backfield, rather. Direct snap. Briggs going to throw. Throws it out into the flat for Gooden. Gooden catches the ball and tucks it in, gets to the 42, and he's brought down there by Anthony Bizzio. I got to ask, though, is there somebody other than Gooden going to be targeted here today? Because, it looks like Briggs has pretty much locked in on Gooden. It's caused him some problems.
Yeah, Griffin Gooden, his 5th catch of the day. All 4 of Tyler Briggs' receptions have gone to Griffin Gooden. And you're right, you don't want to lock in that one guy. You got to try and open up the field a little bit.
Trips right. Whitaker is the lone set. Briggs from the shotgun. Briggs. Time. Throws in the flat. Again complete to Griffin Gooden. Up towards the first down. It's going to be marked right at the first down, and it will be an NFA first down. Ball almost to midfield, but
6 catches for 83 yards on Gooden on the day. He is certainly producing when his number's called upon. But he is the only target right now, the only weapon out there, the only threat for the Wildcats.
Briggs from the shotgun, sense of urgency. Looks for Cummings in the tried to swing it out.
He had some room.
He did. He would have been one-on-one with Anthony Bizzio, and he's got a size advantage there. But Briggs just led him a little bit too far. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 48-yard line of NFA. They trail 18-6 with 2:35 remaining here in the ballgame.
Yeah, 6 out of 7 on the day for Briggs with a pick. So he's been efficient when he's been called upon to throw the ball.
Cummings is the lone set. Briggs from the shotgun throws over the middle and incomplete, tipped away. Bobby Smith was the intended target, but tipped away by Nate Snyder. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10 for NFA.
Definitely 4-down territory here for the Wildcats too, Casey. Down by a couple scores with 2.5 to go.
Trips right for NFA. Cummings is the lone set. Briggs, straight drop, pressured, throws over the middle, has a man, complete, and up to the first down marker is Alain Massino. And it's going to be a first down at the 40-yard line. NFA still in business.
Yeah, give the offensive line credit there for that reception, pitch and catch for Briggs. Offensive line gave Briggs the time he needed to find a receiver. Definitely not his first option either.
Briggs throws in the flat. Oh, and a nice play that time. Parker Rowley tipped it. Almost intercepted for a pick 6. but they were trying to get the ball out in the flat to Cummings, but Rowley saw it, read it, got his hands up, knocked it down.
Yeah, nice play. He's had a big game out there, has he not? Played very well on the defensive side of the ball.
We've called a lot of different guys on the Xavier.
Yeah, a lot of guys
side.
making tackles, a lot of guys making plays there. Back in their 3-5 defense.
Briggs, with time, hits Cummings at the 40. Cummings in a nice tackle out there by Glenn Cunningham. Clock winding. Cummings kept going.
Yeah, he tried to pull a little fast one out there. Cummings said he wasn't down, but the official called him down. Like he slid on top of the defender. Cummings kept running. He was the only one, Casey.
Clock was still running. The officials are just trying to get the clock stopped. They got to add some more time there because they ran about 8 seconds off the clock while Cunningham was waiting for a whistle to blow the play dead. Nice job by Cunningham that time to get Cummings to the ground. 2 minutes and change remaining here. The officials are going to talk about where the ball's spotted and how much time is left. They're going to spot it at the Xavier 32-yard line.
Kind of impressed here with this drive with Briggs. He's looking for somebody other than Griffin Gooden here down the stretch. He's got the tight end open. He's got, Cummings coming out of the backfield. So, you may see a little bit of a maturation process here by the young sophomore quarterback who's got pressed into action here.
And, of course, NFA without its leader, one of the most dynamic players in the state, Juwan Johnson, who has been out with an injury, should be back in upcoming weeks. No, it's a completely different game because it's an outlandishly different game.
Okay.
Because the thing that he's a threat to score. He's the fastest kid in the state. He's a threat to score every single time he has the ball in his hand. So that read option, where they were sending 3 guys to the running back. Now, you got to send 3 guys. You got to surround Johnson because he can beat you. He can beat you with speed with not even a step.
I understand.
So they're just a vastly different team. I don't know that he would have had to throw the ball nearly as much because I think they would have kept the ball on the ground. 3rd and 2. Briggs from the shotgun throws to Cummings. Cummings has to beat Bizzio. Cummings breaks Bizzio's tackle and out of bounds at the 20-yard line. They've been trying to isolate Dejon Cummings on Anthony Bizzio, and Bizzio is only 5'9", 140. He's a tough kid, and he's a hard tackler, but Cummings is a bigger target, and that time broke the tackle and got the ball down to the 20.
5 catches for 44 yards on the day for Cummings to match his number 44, and he's done very well out of the backfield. Tyler Briggs checking down and sneaking one to the tailback.
Briggs from the shotgun with time. Now is pressured. No one's open. Keeps it himself inside the 20, looking for a tackle from his wideout. And can't quite get there, and he's wrapped up at the 20-yard line and drilled by John Sadek. And down on the play is a Wildcat. So we have an injured Wildcat. Officials will blow the whistle. Briggs got the ball inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. With 1:38 remaining in the game, NFA will still have the ball. 2nd down. But there's an injured Wildcat on the field.
Yeah, number 7, we don't have his name on the roster right now. Number 7 is down for NFA. He looks to taking a shot to the knee, as both teams will take a knee. And the clock right now is NFA's one of their biggest enemies, because in case they got something going, they're marching, but there's only a minute 38 left to go in the game.
NFA with their backs up against it right now, trailing 18-6. With 1:38 remaining in the ball game, and now would be a good time to tell you again about our sponsors today. Game Day, brought to you by MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut, and Lawrence and Memorial Hospitals. Now, MJ Sullivan Hyundai, where no money down means no money down. You can lease a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport for no money down and only $279 a month for 36 months. They'll pay your first payment. They'll pay your upfront sales tax. They'll even pay your registration and dealer conveyance fees. You pay $0 down and only $279 a month for a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport. Only at MJ Sullivan Hyundai, corner of Broad and Coleman Streets in New London. See the entire inventory at mjsullivanauto.com. So we have an injured Wildcat on the field, and they're attending to him right now. And as he seems to be working his way through, the trainers are down on the field with him right now. So Keith, 1:38 remaining, 18-6 NFA. Did you feel like you had a little time off? We had a break last week with the rainstorms.
Well, the funny thing about that is I was actually at Waterford High School all last weekend. We were in the booth. We were ready to roll. The game got canceled. And then I went back on Saturday night and watched Waterford take on Stonington.
The injured player on the field is Liam Wilmoth, number 71 of the Wildcats, and he is being helped off the field by his teammates. And certainly, if you're listening at home, we don't want to worry you. It's a leg injury for Wilmoth, but a nice show of camaraderie by his teammates, helping to carry him off the field. Spencer Mokentine, number 22, helping to carry Wilmoth off the field along with some of his Wildcat
NFA's
teammates.
got to go now, Casey. They got to go. Clock running.
Briggs from the shotgun with time. Throws into the corner for Ward, and it's incomplete. Good defense on the play by Gonzalez. He's their best cornerback, is Owen Gonzalez. That time, Briggs was looking for someone else. He had Marquise Ward, but good defense that time by Xavier.
Yeah, very tough with a young, inexperienced quarterback there. You usually lock on to one receiver, and that's what he's been doing. He's been spreading the ball a little bit better here down on this drive, but this is definitely a growing experience for young Tyler Briggs.
3rd and 10. Ball just inside the 20. Briggs from the shotgun. Whitaker is the set. Whitaker runs into the pattern. Briggs has time. Over the middle. Intercepted by John Sadek. And Sadek will drop that down at the 20-yard line. He was looking for Griffin Gooden, and Sadek with his second interception of the ball game, and that should do it. 1:17 remaining. Xavier, the defense bails them out, and they'll have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
The 6th interception today by NFA quarterbacks between Shane McManaway and Tyler Briggs, and very, very tough day for NFA as far as throwing the football. That is the 10th turnover, Casey. 10th turnover. 9th interceptions, 9 interceptions in the game. 6 by NFA, 3 by Xavier, a fumble recovery by Xavier, and it's been an ugly game for NFA offensively.
Cunningham in the backfield. Levis gives it to Cunningham. Cunningham evades a tackle. Cunningham cuts it back into the middle, up to almost the first down marker. A nice run on first down by Glenn Cunningham will get 9 yards for Xavier.
And this is Xavier's MO. After their loss to Notre Dame West Haven last week, this is all they did all week long in practice was run the ball every single night with their offensive line. 2-3 hours looking to wear down their opponents a little bit up front, and that's exactly what they did here in the second half.
Under a minute now. We're down to 45 seconds remaining. Xavier looking to pretty much just run the clock out here. This time they're going to
victory formation.
Go in, and it looks like they're going to just take a knee, and we're going to see the end of this thing. And there's a knee by the Xavier Falcons, and that is going to do it for us here.
Coaching staff is pumped up on the sidelines.
That's going to take care of business here. We got one more crack at it. The Xavier kids are hugging on the field. Tough loss for the NFA Wildcats. Your final score here on the campus of Norwich Free Academy is the Xavier Falcons coming in from Middletown, 18. The home NFA Wildcats, 6. You've been listening to Game Day live on theday.com. And Keith, what do we got next here? What's coming up next for us?
We are at Fitch High School next Friday night as Bacon Academy, coming off of a week off and a loss, will take on the Fitch Falcons and a resurgent Fitch Falcons. They went to Guilford last night, and they got a win. Coach Mike Ellis has got that team headed in the right direction.
I got to tell you how excited I am. I am more excited for this. I really am. Let me tell you why. We had Fitch. We saw them win their first game this year off of that opening loss to Plainfield, where things went astray.
Right.
They got that win over Stonington, and now they have had win after win. They're 4-1. They beat a Guilford team, and they're feeling great. On the other side of things, Bacon, despite that tough loss that they suffered at the hands of Killingly, they've beaten Ledyard, they've beaten New London. The Bacon team feeling as good as they felt. Sean Kelly, a very exciting quarterback. That should be a really fun game.
And I think if a week off come at the right time, it came at the right time for Bacon. And I expect a really good football game next week. Listen, in the next couple of weeks we have moving forward, we have, Bacon at Fitch. We're going to see NFA at Ledyard. We're going to see Bacon back here at NFA. Hopefully NFA's up to full speed. But there's some good football yet to be played in the ECC.
That's right. And we're going to see 2 quarterbacks next Friday night, Robert Duncan and Sean Kelly, 2 of the most exciting quarterbacks in the conference. So,
yeah,
your final score here at NFA. The NFA Wildcats fall 18-6 to the Xavier Falcons. Keith O'Brien, the sports doctor.
Special shout out to your wife who ran a half marathon real quick. I mean, that's a big deal.
Thank you very much. My wife, Michelle, did the first half marathon in her hometown of Brooklyn, New York last weekend, and she continues to amaze and sets a good example for the junior voice of game day on what perseverance can do in an athletic setting. So, with your final score, Xavier 18 and NFA 6. Junior voice of game day, take us on out of here.
Thank you for watching Xavier taking on the Wildcats. Thank you for watching live on thegameday.com.
There it is. Good night, everybody.
I didn't know what to say.
No, it's all right. Just do your thing.
I didn't know.
Yeah, but just do your thing. You do great. Just let it flow. It's so good.
Oh, never mind. I was going to ask, could I make
I'm going to get on. You go on the field, Casey?